close to where we belong, and we're trying to go somewhere new. And I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gonna move the ocean current till the waves flood what's been burning. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. And I know I'm only getting higher till it feels like I can walk through fire. And I know I'm only getting higher till it feels like I can walk through fire. Trying to step back and see the view from above, 'cause I know that nothing lasts forever. And I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gonna move the ocean current till the waves flood what's been burning. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Shockwaves with you. Shockwaves with you. Shockwaves with you. Shockwaves with you.
Boys, how y'all doing? Today we got some duels over on the EU. Let me go and fix the webcam stuff real quick or real fast. And bro, hold on a second. I'm too excited. I am way too excited. I am way too goddamn excited. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm blowing this out of proportion, but I am ecstatic for the day. Let me explain myself in a second. Bro, I've been doing YouTube for, okay, let me first fix this up real quick and get the webcam going, right? And then I'll explain myself. Dude, I also gotta use the rest of so bad, bro. I need to, okay, hold on. Way too many things are happening. I'm way too excited. I need to slow the hell down. How y'all doing? Welcome back. Let me first get some groups up and running over for the EU. And let me also adjust the volume so it's not too overly loud. Hopefully my man Krager will hit me up with a DM here in just a second. Like, yo, got a group ready, and we'll try to see if we can put some together. Groups are up on the EU in like a second. We gotta get these up and running in a moment. But yeah, holy, I'm just going back to my PC, by the way. I basically woke up super late. My sleeps has been all over the place, so I woke up really late. Bayek messaged me. Hold on a second. Is Bayek on? I want to get Bayek on these, dude. If we can, I want to get Bayek on these. How you doing, by the way, AG? Hope you're having a good one, my guy. Get this up and running. We'll get the chat up and running. Beautiful. I can now read. Yes. Getting groups for it right now. And we'll see if Krager is on. Dude, where is Jake? What I need, Jake. Where is Jake to share in my excitement over here? Where is Jake to share in my perplexity here? Because holy moly, boys. This is weird. Anyway, let me get groups going, and once I let me use the restroom after this, dude, because I gotta piss like a racehorse, man. It is actually just like it's bad, bro. It is bad. Alrighty, groups are gonna be listed. Let me also post because I'm bad at doing this at the start of the stream. Post how to join groups and pin it, and hopefully we can get some groups on EU. Group sometimes takes a second, but hopefully we'll have a Kragar and or homies joining in pretty quickly here. Molten Core. Beautiful. Competitive. Beautiful. Alrighty. So this is set. We just wait. Hopefully I get a couple of DMs here in a second. But the groups are up. If you guys want to join us, you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to. I also got a bunch of projects that you should start working on. Radimus, I haven't seen that beautiful mug in a second. Beautiful. Love seeing my boy Radimus in on these. Hell yeah. I think last time we had Radimus, he was like it was after Atho. Are we picking up double Pally on this team? Okay, no more Pallies on this team then. We can't have too many Pallies on one team then. Cannot. Ready? I can get you in, but can't have too many Pallies on one team XD. So might need to get you in the second group. I don't know if Bike wants to help put it together. Hey, Kragar, near today. I heard 15 minutes. Need 15. So Kragar is in today? Okay. If Kragar is in, Nasmoshki, if you confirm, we'll just make a group and we'll wait for Kragar. How did that sound? Here? Okay. Hello, everyone. What's up, Antar? How you doing, my man? Dalaran, привет всем. Привет, здорово, здорово. Крагер скоро будет участвовать минут. Окей, хорошо. Мы сделаем одну группу и будем ждать Крагара. I thought Rogues was a big deal. Rogues? I mean, we haven't made a rule on rogues yet. But I currently have two Pallas on this team. Kragar is said to be making a second group, so I can rotate you in at some point. Yeah, I mean, if the chat thinks rogues are too much, we could make a special rule on them. Cool, хорошо, нормально. Крагар 5 минут. Будет участвовать через 5. Хорошо. Мы сделаем одну группу, мы будем ждать Крагара. Но моей группе нужно... Окей. Perfect. Я не знаю, как написать perfect. Неправильно это. Rest in hell. Здорово. Dude, am I speaking Russian today or am I speaking English? I'm mostly speak English. I live in America. I'm an American boy nowadays. So yeah, I am mostly going to speak English. Though if you guys do have a question in Russian or a comment, I will try to respond as best as I can. Though my Russian is definitely not great anymore. So I'm going to keep things as I usually do. But that'll be fun to do like a proper Russian stream where I'm just like cadavering through my words here, more like stumbling through them, tripping over my own sentences, my own letters here one by one. If Leo told me the rogues are just a menace in the moment, which paladins I got for a team, I got Radimus and some pala named Sero. I know Rad. But Sero seems like fresh blood. We will probably rotate teams as the night goes on for fresh faces. Yeah, I'm thinking we should rotate. Hey, duelers, what's up, Saya? Yo, Saya, I would love to have you join in, but we already got two paladins on my team. I don't want to have too many paladins. I feel like for Team Kragar, going up against two paladins, not gonna be fun. Although they probably should pick up a pally as well. Antibodon, he used to join these groups, right? Who else can I invite, man? Hold on. Kobre, Zdorova, hey, Dulcine? I wonder if you would want to join some. He did join last week for like a game or two. Hey, Dulcine? Kragar, making a group in 5 minutes. Let me also do this. Let me go. Hey, American best boy. I just thought it was the best boy, но о себе думаю как американец. Я живу в Америке больше, чем половину моей жизни. Поэтому я, когда думаю о себе, я думаю о себе как русским гражданином, я думаю себе как американским гражданином. Понятно? Помню мои русские корни и все. Ну, а теперь думаю как американец. Думаю как американец много времени. Need to retrain these paddling muscles? Yeah. I'll take a bath anyway, return from gym. Yo, go for it, man. Go for it. I think we have since quite a decent number of bodies here, at least in terms of the group. I haven't even started asking boys like to join the duels whatsoever, so I haven't even put a group together. I've been waiting to go use the restroom here in a bit, man. I need to take a piss, bro. I've been needing to piss like a racehorse for a while. Today, I want to see if I can get Rick in here. Bro, can we do Rick versus Cracker again, a 10-minute duel? Because that's gonna live for ages. I am also surprised Blizzard has not done any class tuning since last week. Like, none. They nerfed Outlaws a little bit, and then they're just like, okay. Okay, that's it. I mean, I guess it was some couple of little class tunings here and there, but nothing crazy. Dude, everybody I'm seeing is in Arena. Ever since they buffed up the MMR, huh? Everybody out here in Arena. Okay, we got 2 more spots. You guys are more than welcome to join. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and then we'll go back and we'll, fill up the groups. ONYXIA, easily 1 spot available. If you guys want to join it, you're more than welcome to. I'm gonna set it to raid. I need somebody to be. I'll probably wait for Leo, honestly, because I need somebody to be on my real ID so we can queue these groups pretty regularly. Yeah, unless it was like, I don't know, Nesmershko or Toxie or somebody, or Tama. Okay, well, we have a 5-man group. I'll make Tama lead, or Rest in Hell. I'll do Tama. Advo would have been fantastic too. Love you, Advo. I can't have you in this group. You just filled. But I'll make Tama lead. But group is ready, waiting on Kragar. Then we are good to go. We'll probably need to make Tama lead for a matches. Okay, and Rick also sit down whenever he's down doing threes. Yeah, now I'm gonna log in. What's for me? Yeah, that could work. If you guys want to make a 3rd group, we could do that too. Because I mean, Advo's around. Leo, I can't take you now. I just filled. I just filled. We just got 5 right before you signed up. I wasn't gonna say no to Tama. Yeah, let me use the restroom real quick. Собираю новые пати, хорошо. Okay, how do I write in Russian? I need literally мы тоже. Where is the move? Letter or is it with a yeah or тоже? Я думаю, это я. Okay, хорошо. Надеюсь. Я хорошо это написал, не знаю. Okay, let me use the restroom real quick and we'll get it going. Alrighty? Yeah. We'll rotate bodies though. We'll get Leo on that.
My reflection, thinking about what you mentioned. It was supposed to be the one to take every last pain away. Nothing on our loving, maybe time told us that we were different. Did it break you down? Staring at the ceiling, fighting off a feeling.
I think we are all good to go. Nesmershka, yeah, sorry, I couldn't get you in. We'll get you in the next one though. Also let me know the Radimus. Hold on, I'll give Radimus a second. Hold up. Radimus is offline. I might be able to get you in if he can come back. Give me a second. We'll probably get Johnny in just so I have somebody to take over for the group instead of Tama, just because Johnny is super used to this. I wouldn't want to put responsibility on somebody else who doesn't know how to do the group management and stuff. But I definitely want to get you into. But getting Johnny in for this would be easy. I'll give that's what I'll do. I'll give Radimus like a second. Okay, Radimus is back. We're good then. Tama, you are lead. Tamatik, my favorite mage. What am I definitely? I want to say favorite mage. No, actually no, favorite mage. My favorite Pandaren mage. How many Pandaren mages do I know? Not that many. My favorite Pandaren mage. Tom Natik and Kragar 5 Nagrand 1. Hopefully that worked. Nice. Beautiful. We're in. Good afternoon, Dal. Hope you're okay. I'm doing good, Frankie. Hope you're having a wonderful one. Oh, what is happening? Emochka's health bar just wasn't showing up for a second. All right. That's a lot of paladins on one team, but at least they got a lot of, like, this man was popping off last week. Hi, boys. Let's have some fun with duels tonight, yeah? That sounds good all the time. Also, after this match, I gotta show you guys something cool. But if you want to get a preview, check out Icy Veins. Check out Icy Veins. That's what I'm saying. You know, the plays up right. It's like Wowhead, but not quite Wowhead. It's like Wowhead 2.2. You know, let's say it's slightly smaller. But check out Icy Veins. Just check out Icy Veins. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go on Icy Veins and check it out. Just look. Couple articles. You'll find it. It's weird, bro. Alrighty. Switch. Got ourselves Emochka over the TM1 as a feral druid ready to go, grabbing them band of buns provided by Tama. But it looks like Tama's gonna be first one up. We got ourselves rested hell on that beautiful. While it wasn't everyone's favorite gladiator mount, those bats, there's a beautiful one. We got Sayro here, we got Radmus here as well. And it looks like Colbrex is going to be first up. Just going to be some zonal action with AoE and frostbolting. The pet immediately going to be freshly summoned. I like how they get summoned frozen. Like whatever effect they had in, when you resummon one, they just come back. Hello, my dear comrade. What's up, Disney? How you doing, my man? Comrade. Hey, how's it going, bud? Tom is focusing out on the succubus quite a decent bit, man. You know, like he should be focusing on Cobra, but he's just like, oh, succubus, hello. Let me just punch it with a couple of frost bolts. I mean, it makes sense, right? You just build up damage. Your Ice Ray of Frost is going to do some damage. Reflect? Did they reflect? He totally did. Look at those hands of frost just coming back to Tama, crawling through the ground. Looks like he was able to reflect either the entirety of that Ray of Frost or just like not the Ray, but the hands of frost procs. You know what I mean? Because that frosty thing should not be coming back to him like that. That was kind of wild. Wait, can you actually reflect the entire beam duration? Is that a thing? Because I never really know. Like some of these, like when you reflect, let's say like a drain life from a warlock, it doesn't just keep draining. It like cancels itself out because the target is like not getting hit. Same thing with like drain soul, right? Some abilities just don't work, but the channels seem to have went all the way through. Gonna be CC tricking out Tama, full stone into Cobra with the trick and trying to see if he can back up out of there. Does get reflect, though he doesn't get the reflections, though some of them do get reflected. So it looks like some of those hands get reflected. The beam does not. Cobra actually suffering through the damage right now, walling this off, trying to see if he gets some cast out. Tama backpedaling out of there, boarding out as soon as he can. Some drain life out for Cobra, trying to get some damage in. But unless he can get himself like big old cast, since he's not playing instant cast build with those dots or whatever, he needs to go for the big chaos bolts. But I don't know if Thomas is gonna ever let him. Corbett looks like he's recovered a decent bit of health. That is Wall, Dark Pact, Warlock Hellstone. A lot of things got used there. So you might be in a bit of a tougher spot. But Inferno is coming back very, very soon. So that could potentially give him the big go. Problem is, Trauma is very, very slippery. Very mobile. He's got a lot of movement for him. Succubus, however, could potentially give Cobra a final opportunity to have a go. As soon as he sees even a chance there, then it's going to be Ray of Frost. Into a block and all that kind of damage. Big bolt of the Infernal. Finally got himself some pets. It's going to be invincible out of Cobra just to get, or Tama just to give himself a bit of defense. Unfortunately, it is the pet of Tama that has taken a lot of that immediate damage from the Chaos Mother. So it was the damage that Tama could avoid completely. Catching up a lot of health just now. And Cobra is back up in a situation where he can't move, can't really approach Tama all that easily. He's going to have to wait him out a little bit. And he's got potentially a lot of damage, but Tama looks like he's just unable to really take any of that damage. Succubus finally connects again. Bolt is going to connect too. That's going to be a Tama taking a huge brunt of damage finally for the first time. Cobra needs more of those big chaos bolts. to start eating away. Thomas Hellbar does get a full freeze stun on both the pets as well as the Warlock. Got himself another Ray of Frost, trying to break through the Dark Pact. It is holding on strong though, as Thomas still got himself plenty of shatters, looking for a Reflect. Does not get to steal the Reflect. The Mortal Coil still goes through either way, unfortunately. So far off that Succubus, you see, just to break through Thomas Hellbar into another block. Tama cannot heal with blocks, so he's going to use it as an immunity ultra immediately to make sure he can always reverse his health. Does get himself images to help dampen some of the damage he's taking. Cobra backing up out of there completely. Tama's images are kind of just waddling. Where are they walking? They're looking at somebody over in Team Krager, dude. Specifically just targeting somebody. I don't even know who. But it's going to be Tama back battling behind the pillar. Got himself shield, got himself some food. So he's able to at least go for a bit of that resetty. I also like the mount. I like you get yourself a Frosty Squirrel to combine with your with your Frosty Nature. Cobra going for a really aggressive gateway. The Succubus does get caught behind there. Line of sight. It's going to go for a Reflect in order to try to see if he can stop any of that stun. Still the stun goes through. Ray of Frost. Succubus to stop it for a second. Cobra is still holding on to the Dark Pact shield. Got himself another Soulfire loaded up. Breaking through the defenses with an Infernal drop, and then Overlord signing up on the go as well. Fear to lock down Tama further with yet another bolt. More pets getting summoned up. So right now Cobra got himself a huge go. Huge potential damage here. You just gotta find a way to catch up to Tama. But unless you can start spending soul shards on Tama, he's not really gonna be able to do too much here, unfortunately. Poly out. Cobra still has a lot of that heavy-handedness to him as a Destro Warlock. Potentially big damage. Ray of Frost does catch him unaware. Is gonna be a Warlock Hellstone with a gateway to back up out of there. Tama looking to potentially press the advantage here. Succubus trying to stop him before he can really get himself a proper go. With a couple of dots set up by Cobra, at least he's got himself consistent passive damage and resource building. Whoa, with a Mortal Coil, just trying to see if you can dump bolts after bolt into Tama. Unfortunately, the pet is attacking him, the pet of the mage. So that Chaos Mother was not able to get a lot of damage directly into Tama, but Cobra, he's so close. He's on a precipice of victory. Just needs a little bit more damage. Does get him some huge instant cast. Reflects, so Tama can't stop it. Panda racial, but it couldn't stop him. Meets is flying from above the sky, and Tama unfortunately does go down. Just the raw, unfiltered power of a Destro Warlock is more than enough to take him. And apparently it looks like we lost one of the Paladinos. Yeah, Seiro is gone. I don't know if that was because Tama was taking sweet time. We're only 5 minutes into the match, but apparently we lost one. So apparently team one is gonna have to somebody's gonna have to step up and Rest in Hell playing into a Devourer instead of Havoc. Normally he's fully Havoc. Mortal Coil is going to connect. Does he have the melee damage to continue the damage? He's trying to see if he can get those angles while meta is active. Every single one of his hits, whether it's Reap or Consumes, all of them do damage while meta is fully up. Is going to go for the kick on the Succubus, which is going to give him a lot of resources. Cobra might be in a bit of a weird spot if Rest in Hell catches him again. Succubus is seen immediately, sending out whatever passive damage he can. Sigil of Misery does not connect. Succubus catching Rest in Hell in the middle, which gives Cobra an opportunity to go for Shatter for your full damage. Got him some big ruination. Drink it out. Rest in Hell trying to make some melee damage happen. Poured back for Cobra. I don't know if he's got a gateway again. It looks like he's hanging out next to the gateway as if he's about to use it again. Infernal is going to be joining the fight. For Rest in Hell, I wonder if that's an opportunity for him just to build some soul shards and then see if he can build up for another meta. Reflect up for Cobra, so he won't be able to stop any more kicks from Rest in Hell. It's going to be a lockdown with a Fear. Bolts are flying out. Trying to go for another Fear, but a Succubus is going to be in between of that. Is going to use the Succubus instead of the proper Fear to reflect. Leaping in, got himself a bunch of melee damage, looking for melee. Unfortunately, the melee hit does not connect. Meta, but it's going to be a big old movement out for Cobra. Rest in Hell having to use his melee abilities right now on these pets. At the very least, it is going to give him lots of healing, huge leech. So at least he's recovering and maintaining meta for a little bit longer. Maybe close enough to get, maybe long enough to get close to Cobra, but unfortunately, it does fall apart. A lot of his big damage during meta, unfortunately, is a big haymaker. It is very, you could easily see it from a mile away because it takes you a whole global just to pop in the meta. So it is a little bit on the tougher end, and Rest in Hell is going to take a lot of damage. Unless he's got a heal right now, Cobra is really starting to hurt right now. Mortal Coil is going to connect. Does Cobra have a follow-up? The only advantage that Rest in Hell can play around with is Cobra does not have a lot of instant casts. But those bolts, when they land, they do a lot of damage. So you really have to play around those case bolts in particular. You know what I mean? Brew 3 plans seems like, what? What are you talking about, Carl? What are you talking about, man? What is happening? 3 paladins? Yo, what are you talking about? I know people hate on paladins, but what in the world? It is going to be Cobra trying to see if he can send Radamus back, but I mean, Cobra is left with not a lot. Wall, actually, no. Warlock Hellstone, wall is up. Infernal dropping in. Hold on a second. Is Cobra just about to do a big 180? He's got to reflect. So the next stun by Radamus, unfortunately, he uses it a little bit early. but he's got potentially lots of damage. Knocking it back for just a second. I don't know if he's got ports, mortar coil. If you can just crank out more bolts, maybe that would do it. Radimus better be careful. You might need a bubble right here. Lay on hand, super early. Gateway out for Cobra. Does some with dark pack, so at least he's got some kind of a defensive. I don't really know what else he can do. He might just have to gateway now. I don't know if he can gateway again. He's gonna go for a port. Try to avoid him. Succubus maybe can help. Oh, Succubus does catch him. Looking to get himself a Warlock Hellstone. He can use one. He's got a fresh one. First stage to catch up whatever health he can. Might need to gateway. Does not have anything for the stun, unfortunately. Dark Pack barely keeping it alive. Maybe gateway? Get Warlock Hellstone. If you could use it right now, use it. I don't know if you can. Dawnlight is on you. I think it might be lights though. Yeah, that Dawnlight is rough. We got ourselves Adia up next over as yet another Demon Hunter. It's going to be up to Radimus and Emochka to try to see if they can hold off for the rest of their team. Unfortunately, they are missing one Paladino, but that may not be the end of the world, especially for Team 2. I mean, they'd rather only go against one Paladin versus 2. Bubble out for Radimus, letting Adio duel his entire melee rotation burst. And is trying to see if he can catch up to him. Stun right after. Adio with a trinket. Back it up out of there. Had a backflip by the looks of it. The ventral retreat, but I don't know if it was just available immediately. It's just if you can ever get those ventral retreats as a Paladin using the Haja, that could be huge. Try to see if he can back away, making sure he doesn't get blinded by Radimus. Doing quite a decent bit of damage from a distance. Radimus is feeling the pressure and is actually going to back up out of there. Technically does have a big hammer hanging over Adio's head, but he just doesn't have the damage, the confidence, or a cooldown to combine with this. Does go for the Wake of Ashes. Looks like it's going to go fully defensive. Looking to catch up as we hit in that 50% dampening. So Radimus is now going to have to be fighting through a pretty hefty healing reduction. So if he wants to find a way to fight through the rest of the team, he's going to have to play very, very carefully. No big forbearance buttons for him to use. Lay on hands, bubble, spell warden, Bob, all are gone. And Radimus feels the pressure. He's going to back up out of there. Unfortunately, getting interrupted on Holy, though it's not like he could really stop a lot of it. Trying to go for a blind. I don't think Adia got hit with it at all. It actually might be down to Radimus to go down here. It's going to be the final little consume, and Emochka is the last one left, looking for a proper stun. He has to go on big damage from the get-go. Adia, darkness down into a full meta. Trying to see if he can take down the Pharaoh before he gets an answer. Oh my god, Emochka through the bar. May need to use a wall. I think him holding onto the wall might have been what sealed the deal. Getting interrupted. There goes the wall. Trying to do whatever he can to survive. Trying to go for a stun. It couldn't quite connect. Unfortunately, though, it's going to go for back-to-back bites. Adia does a blur very, very soon, and the stun available. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Stun, trinkets out immediately. Does still have reaps and consumes back-to-back that he's continuing to channel fear, but I think the bleeds may just take him out here. Adia might have to say adios. Or not. Oh, this man is alive. Normally, Demon Hunters die so fast. But a restun, big bite, and Emochka looking for a takedown. Who's up next? Is it going to be the Warlock? Advo? Okay, Demonology? I don't know if Emochka can fight against Demonology. He's giving him at least a chance, at least a proper opener. Is going to be a rake stun. But all Advo needs is a little bit of damage, just a tiny bit of pressure. Skull Bash on that cast actually does. So no, actually tired to go through. I don't even know what he interrupted then. Yeah, Emochka got nothing left. Too many pets, too much surrounded. Yeah, that is rough. That is so rough. Cobra picking up too. Well done, well done. Very, very sad. Team 1 lost a Paladino, but we might be able to join in and give him an extra body here. Yeah. Damn. That duel lasted between those two teams for a while, and that's just with one Paladin. Imagine how much longer it would have been with 2 Paladinos. Right? All right. Where am I at in duels? I need to get the number right, because Audacity does not tell me the numbers anymore. Okay. 349. Got it. I may need you still got 5? Because that Paladin didn't get kind of just AFK'd. Yes? Okay. I mean, we could do it. We could send it again. Okay, Krager and Tom both say that they're ready. So we'll just send it. I don't know what happened to the other Paladin. We'll just run it. And then after this match, we'll remake the groups. How does that sound? So every 2 matches, we'll try to remake the groups completely. I probably should have done 12-year-on. There's a lot of casters, and the 12-year-on map would have been great for casters. Call this out so quick. You should give Tom Brady a call. Bro, Tom Brady would be embarrassed to be in the same room as me. Let's be honest, dude. I'm just a dweeb who's really into WoW and, like, really into WoW. Like, it's kind of obvious, right? Or maybe Kentucky Derby would be next to Michaels. Come on, dude. At this point, I know you're messing with me. You're making fun of me. At this point, it's like, dude, this Dal guy, get out of here. Just say what's on your heart, man. Call me a dweeb. Because it's true. It's true. Although it would be cool to one day, I don't know. I don't think it would ever happen, but I would love to be on like the commentary table, at least for one of the AWCs or a Mythic Plus thing, right? The Mother Invitationals. I think that'd be really fun. I think they'd be incredibly fun. Probably more for the PvP angle of things. I think that'd be enjoyable. Although commentating one-on-one duels compared to a 3-man team fighting, that would be a different story. You know what I mean? Not quite the same. Which? Rest in Hell, back of the Havoc. That's where Rest in Hell is at its finest. Playing Havoc. I know Devour is like the hot topic of this expansion. Kragr charging in. Hold on a second. Kragr looking a little different today. Looking like he slimmed up a bit. Holy, he's going in big damage from the get-go. Rest in Hell, not even given an opportunity. Disarm immediately as soon as he gets Havoc. As soon as he gets meta. But unless you can actually get those blade dances, you can't really heal. Spearing him. Look at this. Warrior playing it out, dude. He's not letting the Demon Hunter get any value from the metamorphosis at all. Parry to try to stop any of his attacks. Rest in Hell will have the chaos damage that can maybe go through the parry, but he's still looking for whatever healing he can. Illidan's Grasp to stun him is going to choke him. I love the Illidan's Grasp ability. It looks like more of you guys started playing that recently. But you could stun somebody with Illidan's Grasp and then toss them. Kragr just executing full dominance right now. Rest in Hell, while in meta, is actually look like he's the one on defense right now. And it's going to be a heal for Kragr. Rest in Hell trying to interrupt it as best as he could. Glaive spinning back up. So Kragr knows the next combo for Rest in Hell is going to do a lot of damage. But he's kind of just letting his health come back with second wind. He doesn't have to charge in. He just waited out, got himself a bit of that ignore pain so he can stop some of the damage. Rest in Hell expecting some kind of a stun out of Kragr, landing that Stormbolt with a demolish right after. I-beam is available. Can Kragr follow up? Disarm. Trying to stop Rest in Hell's damage once a meta is active, so you can actually stop a lot of his self-healing. Kragr with Berserker Rage to stop that fear before it even happens. Rest in Hell still got huge cleave damage. Big glaive toss combo. Does he have the huge follow-up with the blade dance right after? Because that was going to be massive. He just needs one more. If he can use it in a meta, that'd be even more active, but even outside of meta, it is still super effective. Illidan's Grasp looks like he does do a decent bit of damage. Not a lot, but a decent bit. He's not going to chuck him. It's going to be Stormbolt as soon as the meta activates. It's Kragr, Fear. He's not going to fight the Demon Hunter while Fear is active. He's actually going to CC once the meta is active to try to deny him any kind of self-healing. And I think that's the correct way for Kragr. He used his embellishments to grant himself a huge shield, letting that second wind start recovering him. Rest in Hell still able to catch up a lot of healing whenever he can do damage. Spear down, unless Rest in Hell can escape it. He's kind of just stuck in place. Yet another I-beam. Kragr does have a storm with the demolish. Maybe a disarmer after. If he has a disarm, this would be huge because that's going to be healing for the both of them. Reflect out for Kragr. That's going to be Rest in Hell trying to see if he can use maneuverability. Movement actually grants him shields to keep himself alive. Hunt to reconnect. It's going to be Kragr with a parry right after. Got him. Well, not parry? No, parry. It looked like he had a parry for a second, but I think it was another effect maybe. Hard to tell sometimes, honestly. But it is going to be yet another blade dance out for Rest in Hell. Kragr does himself. Warbreaker Colossus Smash does connect. Technically has a Blade Storm if you wanted to. I don't really know if that would necessarily help him here, but could prevent a CC. Maybe just enough damage. Darkness down for the Demon Hunter. Does Kragr have a way to stop the damage out of Rest in Hell? Does disarm him trinket right after. It's going to be Rest in Hell backing up out. Backflip to make sure disarm does go away. Big damage to the Kragr, who's barely alive, but he's still surviving some way, somehow. Tries to go for some damage. Yet another some battle stats with yet another demolish. Looking to end this duel. Does Kragr have enough raw damage for the Zerkers out of this? Does he have a stun? CC on the meta. That's huge. Stopping Rest in Hell from being able to heal. He's doing it super well. Get himself massive shields in order to catch up a little bit of health. Rest in Hell with barely any health, man, but he's still somehow managing to hang in. The same with Kragr. Hunt is going to help Rest in Hell catch up a lot of health and huge damage to follow them. That is massive. Absolutely massive. Rest in Hell, as long as he can stay hyper aggressive against whoever he's dueling up against, usually can get a ton of healing. Is going to be stunned full meta. Does Rest in Hell have any way to stop it? Unfortunately, Adio is going to have a ton of damage. Being a Devourer, you can't really like stop it from a melee perspective. It's all magic, it's all cosmic, it's all ranged. There's only so much you can do against it. Radam has got himself Wings Insta imprison out for Adio. It's just back it up out of there as soon as you can into a stun trigger to follow Audio. Making sure he's got himself ranged, and I think that is one thing that could help him against the Paladin is actually outranging a red Pally, which is kind of difficult. Not a lot of classes can, but Devour Demon Hunter definitely can. Lots of ability. That big shift ability is also huge full immunity for magic damage, so that's going to be up for Audio to play defensively. He's actually got a decent bit of health to work with, no trinket unfortunately. The best that Audio could do right now is try to see if he can eventually treat a stun or try to meld it. If you can do either one of those and stop a stun, he'll be in a great spot. Try to see if you can go for mobility or just use shift in order to create some distance This is where Radimus actually realizes he's going to go for a bit of more range into Glare. Does connect, actually. So for audio, the question is, do you have a meta? That's another thing he can do. If you can time a meta on a Hodge, he can actually immune that Hodge so he doesn't get hit by it. So he will have to really place it. He's got to guess. He's really got to guess. Some paladins are really obvious as to when they are about to stun. Others, not so much. Darkness down. There goes the meta. With Audio trying to see if he can take down Radimus. Lay on hands to help him catch up. But another surge of melee damage is going to be up. Audio backing up out of these. Still got metamorphs. He's still got plenty of damage. You can still follow up your bubble out for Radimus. Audio does have a blur. May need to use it here immediately. Stun onto Radimus immediately as soon as he spots him. Maybe he can go for an imprison. Sigil of Misery. Trying to see if he can avoid it. Gives Audio actually good line inside to keep the pressure onto Radimus. Radimus with a Hodge. Audio has decent bit of health to survive the stun, and it looks like Radimus does not have damage to follow up. You still got a hunt to reconnect yet again. That's a melee combo, but his Shield of Vengeance is active. Audio is gonna have to be very careful. If you can interrupt him unholy into an imprison, I thought you were gonna go for a kick and then go for damage, but no, actually instead it's gonna be, oh, trying to see if he can dodge the blind. I think he was able to dodge it. No, wait, no, he's not. He's got literally twinkling above his eyes. He's got stars above his head. Never mind, but Radimus does not have much health. If you got another melee combo, he just devours him right then and there. Oh my god, he built up for the meta pretty quick, huh? Now the question is he going to be able to build up for a meta versus Tama? He's got to make sure he's close enough from Tama so he can land those disarms or disorient? No. It's disable. What is the Demon Hunter kick? I forget. It's not disable. I'm pretty sure that is the monk slow. I forget. I actually forget. I thought it was some started on not disable, but like close enough, right? I could be wrong. I forget. I really just forget. Ray of Frost, I think it might be meld. Okay, I was gonna say for a second it might be lights for Audio, but then I saw the meld still not on cooldown, so that is his ace in the hole to at least dodge from the damage of Tama. That being said, the blizzard behind the pillar is eventually going to do decent bit of damage, especially if you throw down a frozen orb back there as well. So for Tama, he can at least put pressure onto Audio. Audio is going to take a decent bit of damage to his teleport, not too much, but it's not like he can really close the gap either. Yeah, I would avoid the frozen orb. I think it might be dead here. Yeah, unfortunately, those shatters did build up. Over time, they do build up. And then a couple of lances does take you out. I do love me some Devour Demon Hunter in these deals, by the way. They're kind of squishy, but they have decent enough healing to be like aggressive enough. Tama with an immediate block as soon as he sees the full burst collapsing on him by Cobra. Drop it in the Infernal, drop it in the stuns, a big damage. Tama back it up out of there completely. Does have yet another Infernal, but is that thing going to swing around? No, Tama actually gets enough of time out of combat to actually sit down for food, even though there's literally an Infernal on the opposite side of this massive like wooden plank wall. He just literally just completely zen, sits down, eats a couple of those mana buns, just perfectly content with himself. Cobra does finally get that fear lockdown, and that's going to be, I think, his biggest way to deal with Tama is to get that Mortal Coil or suck a BCC with a fear follow-up and a couple of bolts in between. I think that'll be his best situation, honestly. For Tama, I think it's all about getting those Rays of Frost without any way for Cobra to interrupt them or stop them. Like Ray of Frost, unfortunately, Cobra looks like he ported out, and there's going to be a port out for Tama. Break at the tether. He's still got another Ray of Frost available in case he needs to. And you got freebie damage that he can use to the Succubus, so eventually Cobra is gonna find his Succubus kind of low, and maybe just through sheer cleave of lances, it may just randomly die. So that is something that Cobra will have to pay attention to, but something that Tama can set up. Poly reflected, so for Cobra, now there's no way for him to reflect damage from Tama. Tama with a trinket interrupt, but it's going to be Mortal Coil already midair. Breath to follow, does himself Ring of Fire, but this is going to add a little bit extra disorient action. Does himself a wall too, so Cobra can't really go running away from Tama. Is going to go for fear, but Tama is actually, hold on a second, he almost ran through the wall, but he bounced it back. Dropping down Frozen Orb. Cobra can't actually go anywhere. He's taking a decent bit of AoE damage and is chipping away at his Dark Pack heal little by little. Tama still continuing to pelt him full of damage, sucking his CC, and it looks like the Ultimate Time does proc up. If you can go for an interrupt, Panda Racial, Rare Frost, try to see if you can shimmer behind the wall. That is going to be fear. Actually, no. Either it was fully DR'd or Tama was able to sneak behind the wall last second. And it's going to be stunned around the corner. Cobra kind of reading him like a book. The one disadvantage that Tama has here in this situation is he's playing Shimmer, so you can play around the Ray of Frost. So you can't break out of stuns easily, which is going to put him in a rough spot. And that, I mean, that Shadow Fury was enough to put him under pressure. Cobra playing Shadow Fury instead of AoE Fear, by the way. That is something notable. I'll mess up your name so hard. Sayro up next with Blessing a Saint, charging up at Cobra, trying to see if you can cut him down with a full wake of ashes. Tricking out for Cobra. Succubus is there on standby to get a setup onto Sayro, who doesn't have a way to break out of CC except for stuns. Shield of Vengeance holding on strong against a Soulfire completely. Cobra backing up out behind the pillar for just a moment. That is going to be poured out. Sayro backing up out of there, at least trying to. Playing the hammer build. You can see the spinning hammers around him, so you don't have to worry about Dawn Light. So the constant rod dot pressure, it is not going to be present, but Corby is still going to take huge hits every single time Wake of Ash is active. So it's going to be a massive hammer either way. Corby does back out for just a second. Chaos Bolt set up yet again with the Chaos Mother around the corner, barreling the damage through the wall. Mortal Cold to lock down Sayro. Actually can't go anywhere whatsoever. Yet another bolt while he's in line of sight. That lay on hands gave him just enough survivability. With a bit of that shielding from the Wake of Ashes, got a lockdown with a stun. Big hammer coming through. Massive judgments to follow up. The burst combo is strong. Cobra may need something here fear. No, it does not connect. I think he's fully DR'd into a dark pack or a gateway. Does he have anything to follow up? Maybe a stun around the corner if you can time it. Oh, he's not in a great spot. Does go for a port. May need to go for the gateway again, honestly. May need to go for the gateway one more time. He needs another heal. Needs something to keep him alive. Something, anything to keep him alive. Dark pack, barely any shielding. Barely any health. Not have a Mortal Coil in a while. Succubus does catch him. This could be opportunity to make some kind of damage happen off of this. Drain life for just a moment. Decent hit into Shield of Vengeance. Cobra is still holding onto Dark Pack for a moment. Mortal Coil. Fear. Do you just follow up? He's just too low of health. He has to go defensive. Reflect could be huge. Reflect on a Hodge maybe? No. Sayro is making sure not to pop a Hodge onto the Reflect. He's being extra careful with it. So Cobra is still in a situation where he could get stunned up. Full new set of Warlock Hellstones is available for him. As Sayro catches up a little bit of healing, does not have to worry about Succubus, I think, for a second here. Cobra, if anything, got a decent bit of mobility. Unfortunately, Hodge is going to connect. I think it's going to be lights. Yeah, only so much you can do. Paladins do a lot of damage. Paladins definitely do a ton. And they live through a huge bit of the CC that is ever present by a Warlock. So once Sayro got through some of that really bad crowd, really like that rough crowd control that everybody has to play through when it comes to Warlock, like the Fear, the Mortal Coil, the Succubus. Once all of those are on cooldown and are on DRs, and you know you can close the gap in order to stop the Shadow Fear pretty easily, there's not much you can do. It's basically a golden brick road to victory. Unfortunately, though, Aladashik is not going to give Sayro a chance here. It is going to be a Blessing of Protection instead of Spell Warden. It still is actually going to stop some of the magic damage from Aladashik. Not all, since a lot of Pally damage is Holy Strike, and that Bob actually will immune it, even though it has a Holy in the name. It for some reason prioritizes the physical strike damage. So, like, some of those abilities actually will just get immune. The CC will still go through, like you saw there with a blind, but everything else actually does not go through. Bop, immediately, as soon as Emochka goes in for a full set of burst, is going to be pretty high to dampening. So I think for Aladashuk, the Pally-only team too, I think that is the correct move here, to go for a Bop insta to try to stop some of that damage. Emochka, the Feral Druid, trying to see if he can get himself out of that situation, maybe catch himself a reset. If he can do that, might be alright. He's still holding on to his big burst cooldown of Berserk. But I'm wondering if he's going to play around the, I'm wondering if he's just going to play around Convoke the entire time. A lot of charging in. Emochka trying to get that opener. Is going to go for the maim. Berserk, so he got full damage. Bubble immediately. Emochka may just have to go Bear Form. Or, at the very least, Bar Skin with a Trinket. A Bear Form wall might have been the play, actually. Now he's having to use a lot of things, and that's potentially maybe overloading himself with a lot of defenses, so you'll have nothing for Aladashuk next. No Trinket, no nothing. And even through all those defenses, he still took considerable damage at 73% dampening, just unable to heal through the pressure. Got himself Convoked to just try to heal himself. Desperation is shown right here, right now. But the Pharaoh's doing everything he can to survive. Yet another man with Aladashuk Trinket blind. And it's going to go for Hodge. He's in a clear. There's nothing that can stop Paladin with that kind of play. That is tough. I think that's a matchup that I don't think you can really do much about. Aladashuk pick it up 2 at the end. Cobra, Nab in 1. Sarah, Tama. Did Krager get one? I thought Krager would have gotten one with how much damage he put up versus the... I'm pretty sure he did. No, actually. No, I think Rasenhal did win that one. Narrowly, but did win it. Tells you how much healing Demon Hunters have, man. Let's get another... Actually, let's remake the groups. So from here on, let's remake the group. Team Tama, you guys gotta split. I'll make a second group real quick. Leave the group you're in right now and join this one. And I will take 2 bodies that are played, 2 bodies that are fresh. and I'll mostly leave it to Leo to organize these groups. As for Leo, where are you, bud? Where are you, buddy? Join my group. Gonna be remaking these with fresh faces every 2 rounds. Kragar is also going to be doing the same. So if you guys do want to join Team Kragar, he is looking for fresh faces. Lemon, I'll make you lead, and the group is yours. You could pick, actually, Radamus. Okay, we'll pick up Radamus. Bayek, okay. Bayek too, that's fine. So Bayek is a fresh face. Radamus is somebody that played. We'll take 2 people that played, 2 fresh faces, okay? Rest and Hell will be one of those people that played. So I'm gonna pass it off to Lemon to keep the group rolling. You pick an extra body. If you guys don't want to join, the groups are going to be listed in LFG. They need 1 fresh face. But you're more than welcome to re-sign up. Even if you played, sign up again. Because if, let's say, like a minute passes and Leo doesn't see enough fresh faces, he'll just take somebody that he's already played. So sign up every single time. If you're interested in playing, even if you already played, sign up. There's a good chance you'll still get a chance to play again. Because if like a minute goes by, you don't see fresh blood, he'll just take somebody that's already played. That'll work out. Beautiful. As soon as they delist, we'll send it. And they delist it, which is beautiful. So we'll send it. Johnny Boy, Kragar 5, Full Duron is I think the play. He did not. Curdy has not played tonight. Curdy is more than welcome. Yeah, we don't have to be like super specifically like, you know, anal about who played, who hasn't played. But I definitely want to see fresh faces if we have any, right? Just mixing up the groups and matching them up a little bit. You don't have to be like too harsh on yourself. Or don't expect for me to be like, oh look, oh you keep picking, you know, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna say a word. You know what I mean? I just want the vibes to be pristine. As long as we're having fun, that's all that matters. And I just want to give everybody else a chance to play. Wait, what? Mount? Wait, they gotta do mount? Huh? Juvenile Frostworm? You're telling me we can get this as a mountain classic? Dude, that thing looks sick. That's a boss. Bro, I want that. I want that on retail. What in the hell? Switch. Got ourselves a bit of a switch up a team. Curdy, my man. I feel like I love Curdy. I love Curdy. He's my favorite Shadow Priest. Bonnie is another great, fantastic, amazing, beautiful Shadow Priest. But Curdy is definitely a competitor in these duels. He's been trucking through these. Whether Shadow Priest is really good or not, Blizzard made him super damage heavy, but like they don't really have CC. And Curdy, you can just see the amount of pressure he's having to deal with a lot of Shug, the Paladino over on the team too. Blind Curdy is kind of prepping himself for the next stun because that could be really, really bad. This burst unfortunately did get used, trying to go for a bit of cast, having to go for flash heals because that's all he can do. Whenever his spells are interrupted, got himself at least a little bit of damage. Slaps are coming through, may potentially need to go for Trinket. Mind games to stop some of the damage from a lot of Shug, reversing it into a bit of healing. A lot of Shug can just continue to pump pressure into Curdy. Full immunity, massive spell. He just tried to see if he get a juke kick. Does not get a juke kick. Curdy, he's just not in a spot where he can do much fear, but it's not going to stop him. Like, what are the Shadow Priests meant to do in that situation, boys? Seriously, what is the Shadow Priest supposed to do in that spot? Like, there's just no way, you know? Oh my, Blizzard, give Shadow Priest a stun back, please. I like to give him a choice, right? You get a stun or a shorter kick. Like a really short kick or a stun, or make that a PvP talent. Like maybe the Shadow Priest could even, like, that's why you don't disturb the PvE meta, but at least you give Shadow Priest a tool they kind of require in order to be viable in PvP. I feel like missing a stun is just like, they've had psychic, what is it, the disarm / horror effect, the psychic thing for so long. Immortal stun back, dude. You might remorse stun. Yeah, I forgot to remove that. Your Remorse Stun as a PvP talent would have been excellent. Did they really remove that? Why? That's weird. Especially since there's not that many Frost Death Knights in PvP. It seems to be mostly a meta dominated by Unholy at the moment, if we do see Death Knights. I guess it could have been worse, right? Could be meta dominated by Blood Death Knight. And I feel like then it would have been like, Blizzard, this is questionable. Why is a tank better than a DPS? That would have been real questionable. I know some people love tanks in PvP, but more people hate tanks in PvP, generally speaking. Bayek has taken a decent bit of damage though. Aladashuk so far his health has not really budged. Finally stun lockdown letting Bayek really unleash whatever damage he's got cooking. But it's just not enough. Aladashuk has taken a decent bit of pressure, but he's still got big defenses. You get big at reset, so I think he's got lay on hands and everything. Bayek with the shield defender is still trying to see if he can crack through the defenses of Aladashuk, but the man's health is taking a decent bit of damage. That bar is going down little by little, but it's not like plummeting. It's not really just disappearing in front of him. Bayek is not really able to establish enough pressure. It feels like Aladashuk is not really on the defensive. You know what I mean? He at least got 2 stuns at the moment. True. Lee at least got 2. I remember Blood DK was the best DK spec for PvP. I think it was War within Season 3. Was it really? I remember in MOP at some point because of, what is that? What is that tank mechanic? If Jake was here, he'd remind me. It was, not Vengeance. Was it Vengeance? I think it was Vengeance. Whereas tanks took damage, they did more damage, and they get more healing. Because of that, Double Blood DK was insane in 2v2 for a bit. I think it was like Season 2 of MOP. Maybe. Bayek struggling, not in a great spot. Trying to see if he can deny Gilman a bubble. Does have a lay on hands, so he's really trying to play with fire there. Bayek could have easily been forced to use a bubble if there was a Hodge out of Aladashuk, but it didn't quite come to that just yet. And Bayek trying to see if he could prevent a stun. Aladashuk also now taking damage. There goes his lay on hands. Maybe that's why he's playing so confidently the entire time. Only used the Spell Warden versus Curdy. So he always had a lay on hands at a back pocket. Bayek still technically has 2 big forbearance buttons. He's got a bubble, and he's got a bop, no spell warden, unfortunately. So Aladashuk actually only got 1 immunity, versus Bayek technical 2, even though bop doesn't quite count as immunity against the paladin, but still, it's gonna stop some of the damage. Blind to follow. Aladashuk able to maybe get himself a setup. Hodge not available. Wait, hold on. Aladashuk might be in trouble. Hold on a second. You blink it and you miss this man's health, kind of depleting into a bubble right after. Aladashuk catching up a bunch of health, but he's not quite out of the woods just yet. So now Bayek is in a situation where he can make something happen. Hodge available for Aladashuk, but Bayek, you can see, just keeping him at a distance. He knows there's a Hodge coming up soon. Does he have? He got a Hodge of his own first. Aladashuk with his shield of evidence. Bayek knows there's going to be some counter pressure out of Aladashuk. He's going to try to see if he can run away. Trinket to follow. Try to see if he can stop this. Being proactive with self-healing as a Wake of Ashes flies right through with a downlight building up damage, but it looks like Aladashuk actually putting a downlight on himself. He's been a little bit more self-conscious of his own health bar now that he doesn't have a big immunity. Though it doesn't stop Aladashuk from playing any more offensively than he was before. He's still very aggressive. It doesn't really look like he's running away, lining siding. Bayek is actually doing a decent bit of damage and pressure even while wings are down. Wake of Ashes out for Bayek. Aladashuk just needs to bear with the damage just a little bit longer. Hodge is available so you can help him set something up. He does have the type of a flash heal that he can just spam out, so he doesn't have the instant cast one. That is a cooldown. Miss first fear, mistake, and Shadow Prince lose. Yeah, Shadow Prince right now without any CC. Once you miss one, it is rough. Mana up for Bayek. This Pally versus Pally duel definitely can take a while if these Paladins play super defensively. And Aladashuk right now is just trying to do everything he can to survive because he doesn't have a bubble or anything like that. The Spell Warden is coming up very, very soon, which could give him that enough immunity to put pressure, serious pressure onto Bayek, and that pressure is really starting to feel it. Bayek trying to see if he can just outrun the damage. Bayek is definitely the one here playing more in the defensive, even though he got the bubble in his back pocket. He isn't putting himself reliant on the bubble completely. Aladashuk with a spell, with a Blessing of Saint. However, Hodge is not available for Bayek just yet. There goes the Spell Warden. Does Bayek bubble it? He might just have to offer the stun. Wake of Ashes, he definitely has to bubble it. Oh my god, he tried not to give it up. He tried so hard not to give in, but he spent a global on another spell. I think as a paladin, like, he just knew that if I bubble here, I'm pretty sure I'll lose to Aladashuk. Even though it is an immunity, like, Aladashuk has enough tools to survive the next go here. It is rough. It is rough. Fist of Fury flying in. Lemon tried to see if he keep the pressure. Lemon kind of porting all over the place. Honestly, hard to really track where he's at. But Aladashuk without any more immunities, he's going to go for a Hodge. Trying to see if he can just deal with the smoke as best as possible. Wake of Ashes to keep himself alive. Look at that healing. Look at his health. It's so low, but he keeps going back. He keeps gaining just a little bit more health. A little bit more health with every single cast. Shield defendants helping him protect himself for a little longer. While Leo's health is still slowly dropping little by little. Is going to be nothing available for Aladashuk. But Leo's health is so low. Blessing of Saint, so there's no stun, but Lemon able to break through it with one last kick. And those vampires at 34% dampening. They are barely viable. And I think in that stun, it is over, right? Yeah, it is over. That is so rough. Leah had a ton of damage, definitely put a lot of pressure. I feel like if he at some point like eased off the gas versus a lot of shock, the Paladin would have started to recover. So he had to push in, he had to use the karma, but it just shows you the wild difference how much healing Paladins can really put up if they really choose to. While doing decent damage, because it didn't look like a lot of shit was going aggressive, he was mostly playing defensive, was he not? Roar by a meteor? Yeah, wait, Metro, is that Metro Eider? I want to call him Metro Rider. It's Metro Eider technically. Mass damage out for Rest in Hell. I don't even know if I call him Metro Rider here. It doesn't matter what you call him. If Rest in Hell literally pushes up more burst damage, I think it would best you call the druid is possibly roadkill. If the man just keeps putting out much pressure. Unfortunately, Metamorphosis was cleverly evaded by Metro. I want to call him Metro Rider. I'll call him Metro though. Call him Metro. That works too. Was that a backflip? Juro dodge a stun? No, stun still went through, unfortunately. Big bites back to back. That is going to be root to fall in prison. Rest in Hell knows he's going to be taking a decent bit of damage. He's looking for a bit of the fear while recovering whatever health again. That hunt is going to help him out. Roar by Metro. Big cleaves to follow. Rest in Hell does have himself another backflip in case he wants to get out of the CC, but that is going to be, unfortunately, that Urzel's keeping him in place. Metro backing up out of there, looking for a reset. But against the Demon Hunter with Spectral Sight, it is going to be definitely super tough. What kind of change challenge? One spell warding rip. Yeah. Spell warding is a tough one. Spell warding without it. Technically Bob still works, but yeah, spell warding is way too good. Way too good. Yeah, I feel that. Stun onto Rest in Hell. Metro with another Feral Frenzy. Maim to follow, letting the bleeds happen. Big bite. Meta is active for Rest in Hell, trying to see if he can make damage happen. If he can somehow catch up to Metro, it might be okay. He caught up a little bit of health. Get himself those resources. Void Ray, unfortunately, it's not enough to connect with Metro, but it does delay his meta for a second. Does go for the leap. Is that enough for Demon Hunter? Stun. You have a meta. You have a big go, right? Still got one more big go. Is going to go for a backflip. Wall out for Metro. Stun. No, I think the Pharaoh does take him with that incarnation, letting him a re-stealth stun. He does go for the bites at the end, with Radimus being last one left. Team 2 is actually still holding on strong. Very strong. The Paladin and so far Metro has done really well. Question is, can Radimus get past the Feral to let Backflip, Advo, and Krager a chance to actually play the game? Maybe to follow Bop. I think Radimus might have the Bop. I don't think it's a bad move, but I feel like if you're going to be using it at 50% dampening, you probably wouldn't use it super early, right? So you don't even take the damage to begin with. Bop fades, root out on Radimus. Unfortunately, can't escape it. Looking for a self-heal. Still got himself other immunities though, so you might be okay. Unfortunately, adaptation does not trigger from the Feral stun though. I think that's kind of what he was banking on, is that adaptation to actually break him out of CC, but I don't think a single stun from the Feral. I'll let you go for full non-DR bash or like a full maim. Nothing else is going to break him past the adaptation. So all Metro Kit needs to do is actually undervolt his maims. Instead of using 5 combo points for them, use like 4 or 3 for a short stun. Actually, Cyclone might just get adaptation too. That could also work. Metro is just going for self-heals. Feral Druid self-healing is actually also wildly good. Their self-heals is kind of wild. They share a hero spec with Resto Druids, and that gives them even more self-healing with the Wild Stalker. Look at the blades, the bites, the shreds, the claws sinking into Radimus. He's got him so big hammer damage to follow up. Not playing Dawnlight, so it's actually going to have a little bit less self-healing, but more damage on the Feral. That being said, I think it's going to be healer game. The bubble is still available for the Paladin. Does go for the bubble. Stun, unfortunately, does not connect. Only glints past Radimus. Not enough to really land. That immunity holding on strong. Does Metro have a follow-up here? Cyclone is going to be... No, adaptation proc apparently. I don't know about proc adaptation, but apparently he did proc it, so that's a full clone. With a stun, yeah. Radimus with the shield events is last ditch effort, but I think that Feral Frenzy, that maim, those bleeds, the bites, stun to follow. Do you have anything? Got himself a bit of shielding. Blessing is saying, just trying to see if he can survive just a little bit longer, but I think, yeah, the Feral had you in his clutches. And he got 3. I didn't realize he got 3. Well done. I didn't know Metro went for 3 there. I thought it was, the Pally duels lasted so long. I thought it was the Pally taking people out, but I guess I was utterly wrong. Look at that beautiful mount. Ah, you're gone. I was going to look at the Glad mount. Damn it. It looks gorgeous. Alrighty. Johnny and Krager, let me know when you guys are good. These groups that you guys got right now should be, should get another go. 251. As soon as Krager gives me the go ahead, we'll send it. I don't know what arena I'm going to send it to. I'm thinking this one, because they don't Toberon. But yeah, whenever Krager is good, we'll send it again. Ready. Beautiful. Yeah. At some point I remember, but yeah. Dude, I really hope those are reconsidered. Like, it feels like they're not, like, even if you look at some of the patch notes for 12.07, right? It doesn't seem like they're doing a lot of class changes. I am still hoping they do class tuning, but at this point, I think they need to address shadow pace in PvP. Because, like, there's even some people that say that shadow pace are really not terrible for PvP, at least when it comes to, like, 3v3 or solos. It's apparently people sandbagging them to make them look worse than they are, but they're actually really, really good. But, like, I don't know, man. I know they do good damage, right? The self-healing they do in a group gameplay, it's helpful, right? When they get interrupted on a shadow, they just, like, switch to flash heal themselves. That's not terrible. But I feel like that stun, missing that stun, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, right? Maybe it's just me, but that stun, missing that is, I feel like it's too much. Also, the fact that Devouring Plague, the new Devouring Plague, can't heal him anymore, I feel like that also hurts a little, because he can't just, like, dump a bunch of plagues and heal. He's just, like, raw damage now. Which. Got ourselves a bike over for the team one with, it looks like maybe Lemon first up. It's got to be maybe Radimus. Maybe it's going to be Rest in Hell. Maybe. It's hard to tell who's going to be first up over in team one. But it is going to be Metro. He's waiting. He's trying to figure out who's going to be. It's going to be Bike. First one. Bop immediately first the Feral. Trying to see if he can stop the bleed. Seeing that incarnation. Trying to see if he can use movement. But the Ursus is going to keep him in place. Wait, the Feral is so good at escaping. Even Hand of Freedom couldn't break past it all that easily. He's got himself a little bit more damage. With a bit more cleaves too. Metro in bear form, looking for a bit of that self-heal. Looking possibly for a clone. Is going to go for a leap instead. Well, either that was a clone or he just regrowth himself. I'm not even sure. Is going to be a clone, or at least attempting a clone to Bayek. Instead, he's going to go for regrowth. And Bayek trying to see if he can avoid the clone. Yeah, Metro, look at his healing. He's going to take a decent bit of that downlight damage, but at least he's got really good recovery. And as long as he can land those stuns to make sure those bleeds are extra effective, because if he goes for a rake while he's in stealth, that is going to be more impactful as an opener. Full Fell Frenzy was not able to follow up with the main, but should have decent bit of bleeds. Shields for Metro from the Barkskin holding on strong. Bayek Shield Defendants also holding strong, but both pop roughly around the same time. Metro already got the constant pressure, looking to back up out of there. He doesn't really need to be fighting Bayek at all times. He doesn't need to be shredding and clawing, like the bleeds and the thorn damage. The passive sustain, that is more than enough, but any kind of pressure you put in afterwards with more bites, that's also really helpful. Bayek, try to see if you can expect potentially a stun. Bite instead out for Metro. Hodge to follow. It is going to be full Hodge. Metro, unfortunately, stuck in cat form, but he's got himself decent enough self-healing and hoping to land even more pressure. Maim onto Bayek. Cast have incarnation. May not even need it though. Yet another reset from his Shadow Mill, keeping the damage at peak capacity. Bayek does not have a Hodge for a while. Looking to see if he can get a bubble out for Bayek. Lay on hands is coming out instead. Metro now got a pretty big defensive out of him. Metro still holding on to a trinket. He still got wall. He still got a lot. What's up, Angie? I hope you're having a good one. Cheer for Leo. Fantastic. Hopefully Leo will get a chance to play. Sometimes Leo gets like really good rolls in these duels and actually gets a chance. But other times he literally goes last. Cracker is the same boat, dude. Cracker sometimes like he organizes the groups. He's helping us get these 5v5 duels together. And sometimes literally the game just gives him like bottom roll. And he just cannot play the game. I honestly wouldn't be like, I wouldn't put it past Cracker if he like, I wouldn't even like, oh, kick on the holy. I think it's over. I didn't expect Metro to land a kick. I was just yapping away, but he got a kick on a holy, locking Bayek out from bubble. Couldn't even use it. Literally locked out of an immunity. That was so well done by Metro. But unfortunately, he doesn't have much health to live with Monk right now. Bear form. Wall looking to not go for a knock on the Lemon unless he can escape him completely and go for regrowth. That's a really clutch regrowth. Ring of Peace, just chancing it. Leaping away to try to get away from Fist of Fury. Back into power shifting. Oh, no movement, but it's just not enough. I'm Rusty. You're good, man. I don't think anyone expected a Feral to land a kick like that, dude. Or really anybody. I don't really see a lot of times when Pally gets locked out as they're low. Usually Pallies do not cast like ever. So it's not unusual. Backflip also finally gets a chance to play Lemon. Under ton of pressure, port for port. Backflip not letting him get any survivability behind the pillar. Fist of Fury off of the disarm. Trying to stop Backflip from being able to go for Fist of Fury zone. Does go for a disable to root him in place on his damage. Lemon has a karma. Main to use it. Try to see if he can just roll out of it in cap. Manages the spinning rolling ball. Leg sweep, trinket out for backflip. Manages to go for a karma here. It is going to be karma out of Lemon roll. Try to see if he can handle pressure. Backflip also with the karma of his own. I think Lemon needs to back up out of there. Fist of Fury though. Maybe hold on. Maybe that locks out. In cap onto backflip. Lemon needs a heal really badly. That karma is starting to hurt. Ring of Peace. Keeping the other monk at bay as best as possible. Backflip trying to see if he can get out of there. Next leg sweep is going to be the others unless Lemon got a port. Unfortunately, there's going to be lots of damage. Stun and stuff from Radimus doesn't give him a chance. But is Bayek back? Oh, okay, the rest Bayek, I think just to hang out, right? I think. Bayek, you're more than welcome to just hang out, but like let him know that you're not actually competing. You technically should be dead. Technically you should be dead. Looks like it is going to be Advo up next. Hey there, Dala. What's up? The big man, how you doing? Frodo looks awesome. They're really good. They're really good. In 1v1 in particular, they're kind of solid. Kind of solid, not gonna lie. It is gonna be some freebie damage out from Advo. Stun, insta, all the pets are in into a Tyrant. Is Advo still playing into... He is playing the Soul Harvester build. Mortal Coil, look at the raw damage. Yo, unless Radimus presses the button, he might have just died there. Lay on hands, there it goes. Advo has a lot of great, consistent, sustained damage playing the Soul Harvester build. His pets do a decent bit of damage. His own cast does a lot, and he puts additional dot damage and can summon a thing from beyond. What is it called? A demonic soul, I guess. Doesn't he have a name? I guess it's a demon in a sense, right? But he summons this little purple gremlin-looking dude that just claws at Radimus. That does that thing does decent bit of damage. But Advo, normally I see Demonology Warlocks, primarily Rick, play Diabolus, which gives you big burst, but it's a lot of setup. For Advo, it feels like it's a lot of demon bolts, lots of procs, lots of casts, very, very light on the movement because you've got a lot of moves, and it's a lot of passive damage. Not burst damage, but consistent pressure that builds and eventually snuffs out the life. Whereas Diabolus, you summon a big Pit Lord, big Chaos Mother, they just dump all that Chaos damage and the other guy dies in like a burst combo. Advo does go for yet more Tyrants, continuing to pump Tyrants every single global. Mortal Coil, trying to see if he can combine some damage off of this, getting the Demonic Soul join in. Axos to follow, hand to go down flying, so he's got a lot of resources, getting even more demons out of there best as possible. Wake up actually stun those demons. And Advo trying to see if he can back up out of there, maybe looking for a gateway. Radimus is surrounded. Look at that gremlin, dude. Look at that purple gremlin guy. Bubble out, that's gonna be Advo forcing a ton of pressure out for Radimus. Lay on hands, bubble old gone spell word not available. Mana completely depleted. Advo looking to go for a fear right around the corner. You get just a little bit more damage. Radimus, I think, might be done. Yeah, look at those procs. Look at those casts. Those casts that Advo himself casts in there, those Shadow Bolts and Demon Bolts, Hand to Go Downs, all of them are tinged with additional damage. So it kind of makes Demonology Warlock, in a way, more of a core part of that gameplay. Was that a Mortal Coil into a Fear? I think Advo might have used 2 CCs together way, way too closely. Might have potentially, and that's going to be Rest in Hell. Oh, no, Mortal Coil was used. Never mind, Mortal Coil was not used up unwillingly. Never mind, it was something else then. Tyrant is up, Advo with a port. I don't know if that hunt connected or not. It's hard to tell because he did charge while he ported. I don't know if it actually does make the connection. Sigil and Misery for a second. Rest in Hell is going to take the constant damage. That being said, it is a Demon Hunter. If he goes for full meta, cleaving all those demons, that consistent damage that doesn't quite bring him over the edge, usually Rest in Hell can deal with it and live it. It's going to be Axos. Advo continue just to cast spells in his face the entire time. Does get himself a massive shield on that Metamorphosis. If he can control and deny that meta from doing too much damage, he denies the amount of healing the Demon Hunter can get. Wait, hold on. Maybe Advo might be able to do this. It is a full meta right now for Rest in Hell. An actual cooldown for meta. He does have a huge slow on him. Unless Advo can escape him, it's not going to be easy. Mortal Coil. Try to see if he can control the Demon Hunter as best as possible. Get in some freebie damage. I think a port available, right? If he can get away before the port comes through, it does go for a backflip every time Vengeful Retreat comes through. Massive damage. Axos finally stops the Demon Hunter. Fear to follow. And there goes the meta, finally falling off. But the I-Beam likely is available again for the Demon Hunter. So Advo better be extra careful with this next go. Darkness down, port to follow, into an I-Beam. He has all the pets that he can cleave off of. Looking to maybe get himself a rush around the corner. Gateway, backing up out of there. What is that haunt? Holy, he just was like a heat-seeking missile. I think it's just over for Advo. That haunt connected no matter what does it. I'm taking him out. My God. Zekon is up next. I haven't seen Zekon in a second. Hodges to Rest in Hell. Does Rest in Hell have any more fortitude left in himself? It is a paladin with a massive hammer, so at least it's not a Dawn Knight paladin, but if he can get himself another I-Beam and big burst of Zekon, maybe he can start catching up all that health. He got burst. His self-healing, however, is a little limited. He can take away some buffs off of Zekon here and there, but he's in a rough spot. First aid. He has a Shrinker for the next Hodge in case he needs to. Big Blade Dance. Maybe you can get some damage on Zekon just enough to give him some more healing. Backflip out of there into another charge. Yet another backflip again. The I-Beam available. There is a full I-Beam available for Rest in Hell. Does go for a stun onto Zekon. Zekon with a Trinket. Rest in Hell. I don't think he can fight through the damage. Dampening a little too high. He's trying to fight through to get whatever leech healing he can, but it's just a little too much. Good old sub down. What's up, Jake? Yo, Jake, you could have been here earlier, man. I was, what is it? I was asking some kind of question, I think, about Classic. and I was like, man, if Jake was here, he would have been able to answer it. I forget what it was now, but I remember thinking, damn, Jake should have been here for it. He would have known. Man. Matt, you're good, man. You're good, honestly. You're good. Yeah, you're just hanging here. Just take a couple of extra hits from Zekon. We still do have Krager on the other team, so Kurdik can somehow fight with Zekon, which is not an easy matchup for Shadow Priest whatsoever. Technically, you would think, oh, well, Shadow Priest can just remove Pally's bubble, right? You would think it would be a really easy counter. Oh, you can just silence a Pally so you can use some of his abilities and can't hodge. And then you just, Master Spelly's bubble and you're good. You would think it'd be that good of a matchup. It's just Shadow Priest are just paper compared to a Paladino. Absolute paper. Like if it's a rock, paper, scissors, the Paladin is the hammer. You know what I mean? Hammer through a plain sheet of paper. This is stuff you'll have in your notebook. Does try to go for a kick, juking it. It is going to be that massive spell on the bubble. No more immunities available for Zekon. But look at the damage. Look at the self-healing that passively happens as he does damage into a mind games onto Pally. Curdy back it up out of there for a second with a knockdown. But he gets hit with a blind. Zekon back it up out of there for a second. He needs a little bit more time to get us Spell Warden. Curdy will not have an answer, unfortunately. Only thing Curdy can do is try to hit Zekon with a fear early and then bump damage into him. Stay in a range, stay in a distance, maybe take him down before Spell Warden. Silence before he can really go for the stun or anything. Oh, it does end up taking him out. He actually did it. I'm surprised he did it. Krager is the last one left versus Curdy, and Curdy, I don't think there's much you can really do against a warrior here. It does go for a full stun. Battle stance demolished, massive damage. Every one of those mortal strikes is just eliminating for Curdy. Yeah, not much you can do. Technically, Bayek is dead, but does Krager want to fight him? Because Bayek, yeah, he's willing to. Did everybody get a chance to play? He's willing to just concede that loss there. Nice. Well done. Well done. Let's get another one going. This is our switch up. So we do a bit of a switch up. So now let's do a bit of a remake for the groups. I'm sure Krager is going to do a remake for his side. Johnny, tell the groups we're going to be remaking. Tell everybody to queue back up. If there's a spot for them, you'll get them in. Give it like a minute for fresh new faces. But if, after a minute goes by, like you take whoever signs up. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. While we're doing this, chat, I don't think I would have seen it happen, dude. So, Icy Veins, right? They're, I think, a decent website. They do decent little things here and there. But, yeah, they had an article. And it's, talking about like alt leveling and 1207 quality of life stuff, right? They're basically talking about quality of life changes and whatnot, right? But yeah, there's a lot of things in here. They're all kind of fun. And at the bottom of it, there's a video that's featured. It's your boy. Bro, I've been doing YouTube for so long, and I don't like do it for like fame or whatever, right? Because like even just the idea of like, even the thought of like, oh, I'm a content creator, I always cringed at that for like the longest, to be honest. But it feels really good to be recognized. I'm not gonna lie. It does feel good to be recognized here and there. It does feel good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to play TBC Last Addons 3.4 for some point, like 2 months next season. What was it that I was gonna show you? Did you see the mount that they had on Wowhead? Hold on a second. Apparently they found like a new mount data mine for possibly Lich King anniversary servers, and it's essentially, it's called Juvenile Frostworm. So it has a name. I know this looks like the boss, but yeah. That would be a sick mount to bring into retail as well. But yeah, that's something we saw earlier. Johnny, let me know when you're good. Okay, one sec. Okay, got some people. Beautiful. Same people. That's fine with me. We'll do... What map do we do? Rook. Froststorm from DK Questing Zone that you're right at the end. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think you're right. But I'm pretty sure it's also a boss in Ice Crown Citadel. Yeah, you're the reason I stayed for to WoW since BFA. Well, hey, if you guys did take a break from WoW, Like, look, no one will judge you. Nobody will blame you. Nobody would say nothing about it, right? You guys are beautiful, wonderful. If you enjoy WoW, play it. If you feel like it's in a downtrend, take a break. Nothing wrong with that, right? You don't have to quit. You can just take a break. But yeah, if you're somebody who did keep playing and you found my content as encouragement, you know what? I'm not gonna like shy away from that. I'm gonna wear that like a badge of pride. That's awesome to hear. Not gonna lie, it does make me happy. Hey, I'm just an idiot making some videos and did something. Who would have known? You know what I mean? Who would have known? I think I saved that one, right? Damn it. I don't remember if I did. Oh, apparently I did. I think I did. Okay, I'm assuming I did. I'm assuming that I did. I don't want to miss out these bills. Alright, switch. Kragar is going to be first up versus Rest in Hell. The rematch that they wanted. The rematch I wanted to see Rest in Hell flying up in the air. I don't think a single one of those lances went through on Kragar, who was able to double back behind the pillar very, very quickly. Kragar does come in here with a plan. Last time he dueled up against Rest in Hell, he actually had a really good go of anytime. Oh, that imprisoned stop and the demolish, that is filthy. But Rest in Hell does get himself full I-beam with a big backflip to follow. He got himself the disarm, so he's going to try to use disarm or fear or some kind of CC anytime Rest in Hell dives into a metamorphosis form, anytime he does into demon form, because it's going to give him lots of leech, lots of damage. So if Kragar can limit some of that damage and healing, that'd be fantastic. Having to go defensive stance here a little bit early, may need to go for a parry at some point, try to see if he can save those cooldowns for a little bit later to counter cooldowns of Rest in Hell. Is going to go for a spear, unfortunately does not land the spear onto Rest in Hell. Having to back up out of there right after I-beam to follow. Can he leap to the spear? I was thinking if the spear is still up, maybe he could leap away, then leap to the spear, get some distance, but he may need to use something right now. Into battle stance, back into defensive stance, try to see if he can play a little bit more steady. Rest in Hell, next time he gets himself I-beam, this could be potentially very, very deadly. Kragar going into battle stance anytime he's got damage and a lockdown into Rest in Hell, but then back in defensive stance as soon as he doesn't really have him locked down either. Got himself Warbreaker. Maybe that could be huge. Possibly. Kragar backing up out, does a parry in case he needs to. Made to burn a parry, does burn a parry to try to stop some of the damage from Rest in Hell, who's going to back up out of there completely. While the parry is active, he can't really do a lot of healing. Stun as soon as Kragar finally gets to reconnect. Hunt to follow up into another defensive stance out for Kragar. Got himself a reflect, not really sure where he reflected back, but Lances, I think, those might seal the deal. Does get himself Warlock House on last second, maybe a rally? Oh my goodness, Kragar needs to be very careful. Both him and Rest in Hell are low in health. So Kragar could possibly get Rest in Hell low enough to take him out here. Could possibly deal with him pretty easily. That is going to be him disarm on that meta, backflip out of there. Could go for a fear if he wanted to. That is going to be Warbreaker right after. Kragar's health is super low. There goes the full proper meta into an I-beam to follow. But he goes in for a fear with shield stun. Just going to let that second wind healing catch up. As long as he doesn't take damage to his halberd directly, he can heal. And that while the shield holds, it's gonna let him start healing. So Kragar is at least able to deal with that damage. Unfortunately, does not have a parry for the metamorphosis. So this is where Rest in Hell could possibly take advantage. Getting so much leech healing during this that right now, all eyes are on Kragar's halberd right now. How is he going to be able to handle and deal with the pressure? Rally still available. Does those stuns coming back a little by little. There goes a stun. Big demolish. Massive output. It's going to be yet another hunt. Does go for a rally. Needs whatever healing he can. Both the Demon Hunter and him are actually kind of low. Charging in spears. The Demon Hunter can't get away. It's going to go for a leap. Keep the Demon Hunter chained. Try to see if he can restrain the beast from a distance, place him to get himself out of the slows with the reflect to stop whatever damage pressure he can. Stormbolt, unfortunately, not enough. Does end up getting taken out with that one. Sending in the demons insta, Trinket, Rest in Hell with the darkness. That is a tough matchup. I don't know how Warrior is supposed to fight it, honestly. I think where Kragar played it correctly is just storming on the meta and try to CC the meta every time it's up. What Kragar may have to start doing is saving stuns for the meta. Let the I-beam go through him and then stun it. Stun him. Oh, wait a second. I've never seen that. Flying up in the air and hit him with a fear. Stopping the sky up high attack. What in the world? I've never seen that. I don't think I've ever seen the fear just stop that. I was just gonna watch the duel thinking Rest in Hell is probably gonna be okay since he got a lot of meta healing and that's a lot of demons around him. I just did not expect for him to get CC'd. There goes another fear. Unfortunately, he still did not let the hunt, the hunt go through all the way. So he still has it in the back pocket. He can use it whenever he needs to. Big hunt is going to connect. Blasting through the shield of Admiral, porting out for just a second. He does have technically damage that he can follow up with the Tyrant. Is going to send the Tyrant rolling in. Axe starts to follow up. Does have the damage to follow up. Hand go downs are going to give so much pressure, adding in more demons, but that's more targets for SNL to cleave down. And look at the damage this man puts out right now. Still taking huge hits out from Advam. Wall was there to help Advam be a little steady. There goes the Disrupt. That's what it is. Disrupt. I just remember what the kick is, but it's going to be plenty of damage for SNL to follow up. Taking out Adva and Krager. Who's up next? It is going to be Zekon the Paladino, but last time the two fought each other, it was really incredibly high dampening. This time, however, Rest in Hell, I think, stands a better chance. It's only 4 minutes into the match, 5 minutes pretty much, 21% dampening. It is a little bit of dampening, but not too much, not too terrible. Plus, if you add the fact that both the Demonology Warlock and the Warrior also come in with additional healing reduction, Rest in Hell pretty much was playing at this high dampening this entire time. He was pretty much playing with an additional 20% healing reduction from the get-go, and he was doing just fine living it. Zekon backing up out of there. Tried. Oh, disrupted all the bubbles. May not be able to use it. It's going to be mad damage. Oh my. The lay on hands. The rest of it is so quick with the draw. That hunt was beautiful. Unfortunately, he just didn't do just enough damage that he needed. Mass damage onto Zekon either way. May need to bubble. Man does bubble. As a paladin, make sure you save a global for the bubble every time. Rest in Hell got mobility, picking up a little bit of shielding as soon as the bubble drops. It's going to be down to Rest in Hell how well can he evade the next Hodge out of Zekon, or take him out before the Hodge comes through. You got 10 seconds until he's back up and available. At least Rest in Hell needs to have a blur up for this. 5 seconds. Is he going to have someone for the Hodge? 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Oh, backflip out of there. Zekon does go for a defensive. Imprison to follow. Ivan right after does go for the stun. Rest in Hell does a blur out of this, and he's going to have some damage during this meta. Unfortunately, never mind. No, he's not going to be able to. Just using mobility to at least escape some of the Dawnlight damage. Try to offset it to that mobility shield he's got going on. With the first aid right after, Zekon going in for the regenerate and try to see if he can stop some of it. 12 seconds until the stun is available for Zekon. So for Rest in Hell, this gives him an opportunity. This gives him a window. He does have a blur available. He could possibly go for a backflip to stop the Hodge. Shadow Meld is also available. Backflip out of there. No Hodge out of Zekon. He delays it for a second. Does Rest in Hell have anything? Is going to be stunned to follow. Rest in Hell at least picked up a lot of health, but Zekon got himself still full burst. That Dawnlight is going to do damage. Meta is available for Rest in Hell. He may need to use it. Darkness is also available. Stun into Zekon. Blade Dance able to recover a little bit of health, fighting through the damage. And there goes the immunity. Rest in Hell knows after this immunity, it might just be over. Flying up in the air. Wait a second. No, never mind. Huh? Wait, did he stop his own fly up? What in the world just happened? It looked like the man was ascending to heaven for just a second, but no, not quite. In prison, Rest in Hell with the one more cleave. He does go through the Hodge. The animation still follows through. Rest in Hell finds himself incredibly low in health. Shield of Vengeance is active. And this is where Rest in Hell may need to use meta. May actually need to use meta. Leeching whatever souls fragments out of Zekon just to keep himself afloat here a little bit longer. 15 seconds until the Hodge is back up and available. What is that movement? It feels like Rest in Hell is kind of sliding along the arena here. It's all over the place. Does get himself the hunt. Stun to follow. Do you have the big damage? Zekon at no health. Sun not available. Taking him out. Anthropodon does join back in. I haven't seen his beautiful mug in a while. Full army of undead is joining in. Rest in Hell does have meta. Darkness down. Item to follow. Can maybe cleave a lot of healing off of these undeads. Gripping them out of that meta. Stun is going to stop a lot of those pets. The Rest in Hell, if you can get himself some cleave damage. Looks like he's not getting that much healing right now. 39% dampening. He's still able to do decent damage to Anthropodon. Barely keeping himself afloat. While meta is active. Hold on, Antro might just die right here. Into a short stop by the pet. Do you have enough damage? Even though to try to see if he can survive this. Is going to be some health picked up by Anthropodon. Has IBF too. More blade dances, and Rest in Hell does go for the glaives. This man is still alive through the thick and thin with backflip as the last one left. I don't think there's anything Rest in Hell can do in this situation unless backflip lets him heal. Did this man just phase through the grave? This man just walked through this wall like it was nothing. What just happened? What just happened? What in the world was that? Literally looked like he went through the wall. Like those grades didn't do anything. He didn't even go around them. He didn't go through them. Oh, he just went through them. I'm sorry, what? Rest in Hell showing us how I feel like underrated Havoc Demon Hunters are. I know everybody's all about Havoc or Devo, right? Devourer. Everybody's on the death train. If you forget Havoc is really, really good. Really good. Curdy does get a juke kick onto backflip. Still lots of pressure by the monk. Is going to be some burst off Curdy. You will have to use literally everything to try to survive this damage. Got him some desperate prayer, everything available. Trying not to get interrupted. The silent short onto backflip does roll over. It's going to be Curdy likely going for a disperse here. May need it right now. Does go for a disperse. Backflip left with not a lot of health. Actually in that execute range. And it's got him some support. If only Curdy had something to follow up here. It is going to be a Vivify. They're not... Whoa! Apparently he just dies to the dots. I think maybe he had himself like a little bit extra health with like a Battle Master's trinket. And it just faded as the dots were down. Like, look at that healing. He's been able to match his damage for healing before though. That being said, dampening got pretty high. I feel like if there was no dampening, he'll be able to match his damage for healing every single time. Let's get us another one going, boys. Yeah, uno mas with these groups. And I think I got duels 340, 350, 353. There it is. Meant to be like Saffron. Yeah, I think it is meant to be like Saffron, pretty much. I mean, when I look at the mount, it looked like Wrath of Lich King. Not Ulduar. Oh wait, no, Sindragosa? Never mind. I thought it was Sindragosa for some reason. Never mind. Yeah, no. It is the Naxxramas Saffron. Yeah. Yeah, I got too confused. I was thinking ITC, but never mind. I thought this was the model. Never mind. Tricky Owl, have a stream spot on my feral. I could see if we got an opening after next game. Definitely. Double check it with Johnny and we'll send it again. Into Tricky also would like to join. So Johnny, after you make the groups after the next match, when you're making the group, Tricky would like to pop in. So at least we'll be getting one more body. Syndra is really bony. I mean, that one is also bony too. You know what I mean? Both of them are bones, but I guess one is like decrepit bones. I'm pretty sure you guys are listed on the Molten Core, yeah? Johnny, listed up on the Molten Core, and you'll be able to get Tricky. There it is. Yeah. On it? Hell yeah. It should be a feral druid trying to join, yeah. Gotta get back to work, less than 2 hours to go. Then it's beer and burger time. That sounds fantastic, Frankie. First time watching 5V5, truly enjoyed it, especially watching the druid. Have a great time, everybody. Yo, any duels you miss, any highlights, will go on the channel. Thank you so much, my guy. Yeah, no, you're right, Jake. You're right. Yeah, I got confused about the two Drakes. Hope no one is doing 1v1 organized. Yeah, this. Yeah. Nope, no one is doing 1v1 organized. Things can get sometimes a little disorganized, but it's okay. As long as it's fun at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Dal, you need to gear level and gear a feral at some point. I spiked 1.3 milli DPS on the first pack and see the train for it. I'm full haste versus gear on my feral. I do want to play a feral. I have a druid. I was gonna initially play my druid and just play him as a gatherer character and level through gathering, but I'll probably... What I might do with the druid is I might wait until like Turbulent Time is up and then level the druid then. Spam dungeons as a bear. Because I mean, if I get time walking away and spam with bear, that's another way of doing it going about it, right? That's pretty quick too. Alrighty. What do we have? The oops, here we go. Thunderboy, Cracker, Rook. We're doing not Black Cold. Then down to us, don't Black Record. Azure says a lot of one, boys. Yeah. Can't see the group. Oh, Tricky, did you not get in? Oh, Metro. Okay, another feral took it. I said feral was trying to join the group. Yeah. We'll get you in after this one. How did that sound? We'll get you in after the next one. Yeah, I told them like a feral druid would be joining. I didn't realize Metro, who I think was on Team Cracker last time, joined Team Leo. But that works. Or at least we got a fifth, but we'll get you in after this, yeah? We'll still have Leo try to see if he can reshuffle the group, see if he can get some fresh bodies in. I will definitely wait for Tricky. Tricky will just have to tell me like what character name you'd be under. I don't remember if I saved that last duel in audio, but if I didn't, then I did now. If I didn't before, then I did now. Alrighty. Which? Got ourselves a bike over the team 1, ready to go. We got Curdy. Looks like first one up. Leo on the Death Knight this time. Metro here, as well as Radimus. And yeah, Curdy versus a sub-rogue. That is like your worst matchup. Technically, maybe mildly doable, but not easy by any measure. And not easy at all. Actually, would have even been better if like Antobadan was the guy doing it. I kind of like what Impulsive did just now, the rogue. Impulsive threw in a shuriken, which is going to give him full 5 comp points before Curdy can really find him. So he threw a shuriken and step, kidney, right? So the shuriken connects, he can go for a kidney immediately, so he doesn't have to shadow strike. And Curdy's like, oh, he's in melee. So you can use shuriken, dodge the fear, step kidney, not let Curdy get a proper fear, get yourself the opener. That's actually really good. And Curdy eating the full damage, does not go for a trinket gouge right after the full go. Maybe he can get some dots on Impulsive at the very least. He's going to get the tentacle slap, hopefully. And at least he's got himself some healing back there. Impulsive so far just going in for burst and then get out of there scot-free. Not letting the other guy even get any kind of pressure. It only just feels one-sided. It's really just Curdy waiting for the rogue, waiting for an answer. Does go for a fear before the rogue catch a re-stealth. And that's a full PI. Curdy with burst. He's got to make damage happen. He's got to force the rogue to play defensively here. Cheap shot right after. I think it was a fade. There was a trinket to follow into a silence, but I think it's just part of a macro. Into a knockdown for a second. Full damage. Impulsive does go for a shadow strike. Curdy does not have a big defensive. All he can do is just continue to pump in the damage. Maybe get himself a heal here and there in between. That's about all he can do. Trying to get himself a cast. Looks like no kick out of the rogue. Does go for a kick last second. Unfortunately, it is going to be down for the count. Roar by Metro. Try to see if he can take down the Feral. Does go for a quick meld stun. But it's going to be kidney shot trinket out of Impulsive. Does have an evasion to follow. So might just use the evasion here. Just keep the pressure. Yeah, it's going to be evasion. The sub-rogue, however, he's trying to see if he can just build some damage. Maybe he can go for another coup de grace. Does get himself at least one more. Have himself a step in case he ever needs to. Metro, I think he's waiting until he can go for a proper stun. Wall comes through. Shields are up for Impulsive, though. He's going to be able to dampen some of the damage from the Feral. The bleeds, however, with that maim and the bites are going to get through it very, very quickly. Gouge, there's not much you can do to follow. And Metro taking out that rogue. Up next, backflip, fly, running in. He's going to be flying in here, literally, with his big old dragon kick. Flying dragon kick? Or flying serpent kick? I think it's flying serpent kick. I keep calling it dragon kick, but I'm pretty sure it's a flying serpent kick. I get my names wrong sometimes. Also, this little lamp, I feel like it's almost never a nuisance, but I remember one time it actually was like in someone's way in the Duels. I was wondering if we were going to have the same situation here again. Backflip, using some of those rolls here just to get close to Metro. Metro trying to see if he can keep himself moving, power shifting to break out of the slows, keep himself movement as best as possible. Backflip trying to go for yet another kick there. Or is it just a normal attack kick? It looked like a normal, like, it looked like a rogue kick, like rogue interrupt that he just did. But I think it's actually just a random proc of his autos. Metro does go for bar skin, does get interrupted on regrowth. Unfortunately, backflip is using mobility to not let the Feral catch a breather. I think he might just have him. Oh, touch of death got him low enough. Nothing he could do to follow up here. It's going to be Bayek up next. Full Dawnlight onto backflip, who doesn't have a karma this time. He does still have some defenses like wall, but I don't know if there'll be enough shields as he's looking to get himself whatever recovery he can. Does someone to Bayek, but as if paladins need weapons, man. They're literally wielding holy in their hands, so there's not much you can really do about it. Poured it out, and Bayek tried to see if he can catch up. Backflip does have mobility, so at the very least he's got that. Yeah, he looks like he is running a battle massive trinket that's going to give him momentary health. That lets him borrow some health whenever he's super low. Jeff Games, Dala, gotta go. See ya. Thanks so much for going by, Gertie. Appreciate you, my man. Always happy to have you join these duels, my guy. Lexip on everybody, just mostly trying to use it on Bayek. Bayek with a trinket, but backflip unfortunately does fall. The Dawnlight is a little too much. With Goeris up next, enhancement, Shamanson. Bayek still walking into this duel. He's got Lay on Hands, Spell Warden with Bop, as well as Bubbles. He's got a lot of immunity buttons or reset buttons. So for Goeris, is going to be quite a bit to get through him. That being said, enhancement shamans in the past have been able to tussle with paladins though. They have been able to do it, so I'll be very, very interested to see if Goeris can somehow find a way through this. He's going to go for Trinket off of that blind. Bayek locking down with the stun. Goeris still has a lot of potential big damage. Does go for a self-heal here. He needs to make sure he's pumping as much damage as he can so his heals can keep flowing. Anytime he uses Maelstrom to deal damage, he's going to get a huge heal to follow. So the more Maelstrom he can spend, the better. The more Maelstrom he can spend and build, rather, the better. Bayek with a bit of Blessing of Saint. Gage is going to be CC out of Goeris. Goeris is just continuing to pump through pressure into the guy, and Bayek actually starting to steal the pressure a little bit here. Goerz sells a wall in case he needs to. Lasso from a distance. Bike put him really, really low on health. Actually, we'll need to go for a self-heal. He needs to go for a stun at some point. Goerz, if you could pre-wall the stun, that would be fantastic. Bike actually delaying the stun. Trying to see if he can get a flinch out from Goerz. Does not get a flinch. Is going to go for a stun, but Goerz's health is just not really going anywhere. Bike feeling confident like he can put some pressure into Goerz, but that self-healing with those tempests is actually starting to turn the tide little by little. Sun Totem around the corner for Goerz. It's a perfect lockdown onto Bayek, finally able to put up some pressure, so Bayek cannot really run away from it. Looking to go for a little bit of self heals, does go for a really short interrupt, maybe enough damage, but into a lay on hand, still got a bubble in case he needs to, so Goerz so far has been able to fight through at least one big forbearance button. Did put Bayek super low on health. Is going to go almost for a hex, but it's going to be a stun. Wake of Ashes. Goerz might need to be looking for a wall here. Is going to go for a wall. Bayek, I think, wants to go for range. I think he definitely wants to go for that range gameplay here. Goerz with the full bloodlust. I think that's what Bayek needs to back up out of that. Letting Shield of Minutes pop back at Goerz, but he's got himself plenty of survivability here. If he got himself another leap to reconnect, that'd be perfect. But Goerz is not actually chasing. I was thinking Goerz would be trying to chase after Bayek the entire time. Bayek literally sitting down to pick up some mana so you can actually get some healing. But Goerz taking it super slow and steady. Lasso, look at that lasso damage. It is not terrible. Like what? 40 to 50% of Bayek's health and damage through a single channel? If Goerz gets him low enough and just lassos him as like an execute mechanic, that could work out pretty nicely. Burrow down for Goerz. I think he's expecting some kind of a hodge out for Bayek, so that's why he's playing super slow and steady. Is going to be that ascend. Massive damage. Spell worded, but you actually can't stop some of the physical damage. Bayek is still going to take those wind strikes. That is not magic. That is going to go right through. And it's going to do a lot. Those autos are still, they're just range autos, but they're still physical hits. So Bayek's still taking huge hits. Maybe looking for a bubble here. Does get really low. Blind for a second. Goerz does not have a trinket. Goerz should have a big heal here. Bayek needs to be very careful casting anywhere in close proximity of Goerz. Goerz does not have a lot of mana, but I don't really know if he needs too much more mana. Bayek's health is so low. Stun to follow. Wake of Ashes. Is Bayek going to go defensive? He's going to go defensive play. He's going to try to see if he can play defensively. Chicken side of the lasso does not trust that damage to not finish him off. Bloodlust available for Goerz is going to give him lots of maelstrom to work with. Big zabs. Those lightning bolts are also doing decent bit of pressure. Goerz is going to end up backing up out of there for a second. Has a wall. May need to use it immediately here if he's going to be fighting Bayek one-on-one like this. May need something. There's going to be a bubble out of the paladin. You know it's going to be stun totem. He's going to bubble it. He's going to bubble it. You better have a wall ready. Nope, not wall just yet. Next stun. Goerz unfortunately held onto the wall maybe a little bit too actively. Does get himself a heal. Maybe a bit of damage. Maybe enough. No, Bayek unfortunately. It was such a close one between the two. Almost had it, but not quite. But Antobadon trying to see if he can take down Bayek right then and there. Going to the doors. I'll watch your boys though. That's a good tricking. That's all good. Unfortunate though. But it's alright, my guy. Don't you worry. Bayek completely spent. No. Actually not completely spent. Mana-wise he's spent. Cooldowns-wise he's a little spent. Bubble's still available though. That is his one saving grace. And he's got himself full Wake of Ashes Dawn Light. Just gonna try to see if he can put a Dawn onto Antobadon and walk away from him. Anton, not in a great spot, man. Anto, not in a good spot whatsoever. There goes the bubble. And regenerating at 41% dampening. This man, look at that recovery. Look at that recovery. Oh man. No other class can do that, huh? Maybe like Rogue, Vanish, and Regenerating. Let's check if you're Rogue and you're Regenerating. Does that take you out of Stealth? That's like the only other class that I think could get away with like a full recovery like that. But Paladin, just in the face of danger, just bubbles it. Immune. Let me just go re-heal every 3 minutes or so. It's going to be a full stun. Anto actually looks like the bubble is not enough for Bayek to secure a win. It looks like Anto's damage from his pets and the pressure is more than enough. Radimus up next. The full Wake of Ashes, everything available. Anto, I think Anton is just spent, right? Anto Nabadon? Yo, I actually messed up his name. It's Anto Nabadon. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but I call him Anto all the time. Oh, I just shortened to Antobadon. I missed a couple syllables there. He still has a death pack? That healed you that much for 47% dampening? Oh, but I don't know if you can be able to escape this one, buddy. Wait, Radimus got super low in health for a second. Hold on a second. Anto did not give up. I might have given up, but he definitely did not. Got himself Wake of Ashes on those pets. Big hammer slam does take him out. Krager last one left. We got still Leo and Radimus. And the Radimus walking into this one without a lay in hand, but I think still bubble available. Yeah, there goes the bubble. Does Krager shatter it? Can he shatter it? I think Krager, as long as he doesn't overextend his play here, he's going to be able to take down Radimus pretty handily. Trying to see if we can escape. Could not do it. Big board breaker. It's over. Yeah. Kraken does take out the Paladino. As soon as the bubble is gone, there is one bash of defense, a 51% dampening. Question is, can you deal with a Frosty Death Knight? He does a parry. He does a disarm. If you can disarm him, oh, big disarm on Leo's burst. That's actually not terrible. Could go for a parry if he wants to stun instead. Nope, it's going to be massive cleaves. Parry up for Krager. Still can take a lot of that frost damage though. And Leo's going to back up out of it as soon as he sees the defensive rolling in. Blaze him to follow for Krager, trying to see if he catch up. But yeah, the side is a lot of damage. It is a lot of guaranteed damage that you can't really stop, unfortunately. Damn. That's rough. I think as a warrior, there's no way to really win it unless you have like decent bit of dampening so you can like heal. But Frost DK burst is just wild. Get us another one. I think it's a reshuffle there, Johnny. Yeah, I think it's a group reshuffle time. So let's try to see if we can get maybe a body or two that's fresh. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Try to put back on Vex in this area in AA. Died 100-0 with Sentinel Wings up. Spellbound weapon hits. Wait, 100k, 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 63k, 111k. So one of them must have gone 3 defenses then, right? But why did one of them take less damage, but the other took more damage? Then melee from Spellbound Battle Axe. Wait, so Spellbound Battle Axes only hit you for 5k, but their Spellbound weapon effect hits you for 100k? Jesus, that's so much damage. Alrighty, well, we got a spot if you guys want to join. Johnny, remaking the group, re-sign back up. If you played one Team Johnny, you'll probably take you if there's not enough fresh blood. But yeah, give it like a minute, and if a minute passes, we don't get fresh new faces that haven't played on Team Johnny. So if you played on Team Krager but haven't played on Team Johnny, you're more than welcome to set up, and you'll likely get on Team Johnny. Don't worry about that at all. But yeah, we'll get us a couple more games here tonight. I ate breakfast, but I am definitely feeling hungry for lunch right now. I definitely should do a better job of eating before these streams. I keep forgetting it on Friday in particular just because we stream so early. Also, I'm just noticing my light is a little bit off. Can I reach it with something? I guess it works. I just knew that did I have like something long, like a stick or something to just rotate it a little bit. Had a water bottle, but I thought like, well, it's gonna be unwieldy. You have the microphone here. I know I'm clumsy. I'm gonna end up like things just gonna start falling. I really need to come to terms that I'm an extremely clumsy individual. So when I do things, I should just like, okay, how do I kind of make this as less clumsy as possible? Give myself as less hurdles to jump through. Does it 100k DPS of Pharaoh without the 4 set? What is the Pharaoh's 4 set even? Can I even preview 4 sets on here? No, I don't think I can I? Well, maybe I'm missing a tab for it. I thought you could preview 4 sets. Oh, here we are. Gaining clear casting for a moment of clarity increases your chance to critical strike by 5%. What in the hell is that? Okay, seems like a heavy auto attack build. Break damage increased by 20%. Clear cast increases shred and strike damage by additional 50%. Okay, so haste is a good stat for Pharaohs, I guess. What stats would they even run? I'm pretty sure Omen of Clarity is through the autos, right? So passive. I kind of hate it. They are mastery then haste. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Heavy haste, but heavier mastery. And then crit because common points, and then versatility because defense. They do good damage though. Really good damage. Alrighty, I think we are all good. Ready and ready. Ready, boys. Let's go. What is it? Tiger's Peak, I guess? Oh, request failed. Oh, yeah, tigers. I didn't mess up tigers. Now we're good. Well, I'm gonna haste Versa. Is that the best stats for bear? Haste Versa? Or bear support master Versa? Or am I wrong about that? I'm playing my full bear gear. Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, is Mastery that much worse than or versatility that much worse than Mastery for Feral? I know Mastery is good because like it increases the damage of the bites. I think the damage of the cleave from the bites and the damage of the bleeds. Yeah, actually now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, versatility usually scales pretty poorly for a lot of classes. 100 less Mastery than Versa. You run like 100 less Mastery than Versa. Is that for the bear or the Feral? Actually, I guess I can just look up what the bear druid stats are, can't I? At least when people are running an Archon. They are haste, Versa, the master. Oh wow, Total haste, little Versa, little mastery, very little crit. Got it. Got it. Yeah, some parcels actually have like incredibly high haste. In fact. Yeah, most of the verse is about that ballpark. Got it. Understood. Uh-oh. What are we missing? A number of bodies here. Hold on a second. Did you remake? Okay. Нужно remake. I'm telling the Cracker need to remake. So Metro back out of the group and it'll reset it. It'll reset it real quick. Something happened to the groups. Yeah. Well, Bleeds definitely for shreds with mastery build. Shreds, pun intended. Yeah, I like that. He goober. We got a remake. There's no remake. Hopefully the Cracker understood me. Oh, for Feral I got no idea. I'm just running for shits and giggles. Is it fun at least? Does it feel easier compared to like previous versions of Feral? Because I remember playing it on beta and felt like it was just missing something. It was okay, but it just felt like some of that soul of Feral was just gone. Maybe I was like a little too harsh when I said that, but it just felt like, you know, it was just a little rough. Let me know when we're ready. Okay, yeah, we're missing one over in Team Johnny, looks like. It was a lot of fun. I didn't even wait. No, what my tier set did. Yeah, this season, nobody needs to know what the tier set does. It's literally so passive. It's literally extremely passive. The only one that I think maybe you could like make a mistake with. OG. Yeah, no worries, Johnny. Stuff like that happens. Not your fault. I do appreciate you for helping me with groups to begin with. No worries whatsoever, man. Yeah, but these tier sets are all been real passive. There's no like necessary talents whatsoever. Maybe like Outlaw, there is like some there is like a need to have Blade Rush, but that's about it. Cracker also has his group listed. If you guys do want to join, Cracker does list it up real quick. For a second at least he did. I think they're good though. Double check it with Cracker if he's ready. He had listed up for a second, but I'm not seeing his group pop up now. Blood DK Series said it's probably the most impactful this season. There we go. Back to the Tiger's Peak, boys. I like how sometimes Tiger's Peak like sends my camera like in a wild direction. Like when I first zone in. To me, it's super hilarious. I wonder if it's gonna do that again. I wonder if I could force it, because it's always fun when it does it. Which. Got ourselves Cracker over for the team 2, ready to go. We got ourselves Imposev the Rogue over next to him. We got ourselves Aliron as a Paladina. Your name is so hard to say, but I like your Mog. Really like it. With that cloak and all the purple, it matches so well. We got Johnny Sands here, as well as Go Ares joining in. Johnny as a what, enhancement? Elemental? It's hard to tell. Oh, I think enhancement. I saw double weapons on him. Backflip over for the team 1, ready to go. We got us Bayek on this team. Leo, we got us Metro, as well as Radimus over on the... You know, your mount kind of matches you as well, huh? It actually matches, and you got the cloak. I guess the cloak does match it super well, huh? Actually, those cloaks match so well for some of those pre-made sets. Like, ridiculously well. Johnny first up versus Metro enhancement versus Feral. Previously, In this type of a duel, in this type of a matchup, Feral always wins, but with enhancement and how many changes they've gotten over the past few expansions, this may not be completely one-sided. Immediate ascent, immediate wall. Johnny is going to be able to get a ton of healing. Anytime he goes those free lightning bolts in, you're just going to be big storm strike, proc, heal, proc, heal. Totem is going to pull the Feral out from behind the pillar, keeping him out in the open metro, looking for as much self-healing as possible, but Johnny getting those procs of lightning, riding the lightning damage into a lasso, wrangling up with Feral. Isn't going to be enough, actually. He got so low. He got so close. Johnny does go for a trinket, picking up a huge heal as Metro with a wall got himself a huge shield, looking for a big defensive. Johnny also got himself a massive shield too. But it's broken through so fast. Maim to follow Johnny. Does he go down? Does he have another heal? Got himself a heal as the Feral bite goes through. Does he have another big heal? Unfortunately, the Feral bites. The guillotine of death clamping against the man's neck. Holy, just so much raw damage for both of them. But the Feral in particular just keeps pumping. Like, it's not even like wild. It's not loud, right? With enhancement, big ascent. You see the damage. Paladin, huge wings flying. Big holy damage flying through it. With Feral, it feels like it's just really quiet burst. Really contained burst. You just damage, bite. Oh, and you're now in a rough spot. You know what I mean? As soon as it comes out of nowhere. Maim to follow. Metro looking for a bit of a heal. This is where his defenses are going to get tested. Got him some bear form, a little bit of healing. Barks is available. Whatever instant cast he's got is going to help for right now. Got himself a little bit of that Ursos for the Paladin. Does land himself a re-stealth with Incarnation. Played it more defensively as Incarn. That's just a stun just to get the bleeds reset and to at least take some pressure off of him. Take the edge off with the Pally chasing him. Trying to see if he can get himself a reset. Unfortunately, does not quite get himself a full reset. Best I can say for Dalaran. Does get a lot of bleeds on him. Is going to go for a lay in hands in between of that burst. Bites back to back for the Feral. Trying to see if he keeps himself afloat here. As Dalaran, not in an amazing spot, but not in a bad spot either, though. That big old frenzy is going to force a bubble at him. Metro trying to go for a bit defensive. Self-healing is available. Got himself frenzy regen. Next stun by Dalaran could be really deadly in 10 seconds. Does he get it? Cyclone to follow. Nothing that Pally can do. For Metro, that's going to be cyclone long enough where he can catch a restealth and catch up some healing. This is going to be perfect. Next stun by the Paladin, however, is going to be very deadly. Landing that proper stun. Metro is going to go for a full set of chill defense. Is going to keep the Paladin in the float here into a full stun. Big damage. Does go for the Dawn Light pressure. From Metro with the Barks, and he's going to be able to delay it. So this allows him to stay super aggressive. I think Metro just takes this duel. Unless Dalaran does have a bop. I forgot about the bop. Unless you can clone him, trying to juke him, trying not to kick, trying to be very, very careful with that rebuke. Does go for rebuke at the end, so he's still able to stop the cyclone either way. So now Metro can just go for a cyclone. Nothing Dalaran can do about it. He can go for a regrowth at the very least. Get himself at least a little bit of healing off it. Dalaran is not in an amazing spot. Can make something happen here, but a stun is going to go through. Metro is going to go for a bit of damage of his own. Does get that secondary stun right after. It is going to be, unfortunately, still yet another stun by Paladino, looking for self-healing. So now a bit of a standstill, unless the Feral can find a way to pressure Dalaran, who's playing full defensive, literally going for self-healing build right now. Metro with Incarnation might be able to push through it. Is going to be able to get some freebie self-healing every single bite. So at least he doesn't have to worry about his health. Dalaran's health is in a bit of a trouble right now, though. Lead by the Feral. Looking to see if he can end it. Trying to see if he can go for the jugular. Shield advantage with a trinket. Dalaran is just still stalwart, not going anywhere. Making sure their presence, it is felt and known very, very well by this Feral druid. Not going to be disappearing anytime soon. Dalaran tried to see if he can suppress her onto Metro. Got himself a Barks and trinket available for the cat in case there's going to be another Hodge. Not going to be seeing one for like 12 seconds unless there's a blind. Dalaran may need something here. Unless you got wings or some kind of way to use out pressure. Might be in a bit of trouble. Those bites are really stacking in. The bleeds and the vines are stacking in. And the Pally does go down. Just a matter of time. Metro just need to keep riding the damage for as long as possible until it takes it. Try to see if he catch a restart. Does not get found by the rogue. But it is going to be fan nice to get him out. Bear form is at least able to jump into it before the rogue got himself a proper opener. Metro, question is, can he deal with the rogue? Trying to go for a clone? Does Rogue trinket? No, he does not. No, he does not. Metro gave him a chance there. Like, if he's going to go for a trinket kick, that would have been the time to do it. Impulsive, unfortunately, did use Shadow Blades, though, so that's going to be his opener. Mass damage, just unable to really follow up. Metro still has a trinket. It's hanging out next to the eye. That's how Barks is coming up soon. Is he going to get a regrowth? Got a chance in with the Rogue? Bear form is available. Not picking up the eye. Not doing it. Is going to be the opener by Impulsive. Do you just Shadow Strike from a mile away? I feel like he'd Shadow Strike from a distance. Unless it was like someone else that hit him. I think he just Shadow Strike but didn't close the gap. I haven't seen that in a second, but I remember that used to happen. to rogues a while back, where you could shadow strike from like a distance, but without like teleporting. Yeah, if for some reason it just didn't work. Regrowth out for Metro, gouge for just a second, catching himself super low, main to go for a wall here, charging towards the rogue, kid the shot is going to connect, trinket by the feral, stun into the rogue has nothing for this, it's going to be full set of blades. If you go for a maim, there's going to be mass damage by the feral with the wall to make sure he's okay. The rogue looks like he just kind of more or less just was like, you know what, it's over. Didn't even immediately move, trying to see if he can make some kind of a fight at the end, but not much you can do. With Goer is going to be charging up next. So far, 3 have fallen to the Feral Druid. Can the Feral take it all the way home? I really think he could. I personally think he maybe possibly could. Lassa, look at the wrangle him up. The Feral is a decent health right now, so Goer is at the very least able to do some damage, but not enough to push the Feral into pressure. Into a clone, trinkets out of it. Metro trying to see if he can avoid this. Does get interrupted for just a second. The Shaman kicks, however, are very short-lived. Like, they don't lock you out for too long, though. It feels like every other kick locks you out for a decent bit, but Shaman is very short. Unless that is someone that's never paid attention to, but I feel like as a rogue, my kick, like if you land it right, it's over. It's over. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, that's most I need. It's like, just land a coup de grace, chop them up. Right? That feels really good. Feels like the kicks do have some staying power. Shaman, I feel like, is like really nice, really convenient, range and all good, fairly short cooldown, but it's like kind of very short-lived. Does not really lock him out that long. Goers with the wall. Full bursts available. Thunder, lightning, Tempest are flying. Got him some Ursos, locking him down. Looking for a leap. Needs 1 or 2 good hits onto Metro, who is going to back up out of the incarnation rolling in. Goers catches up a lot of healing. Metro, as soon as he sees Goers stopping in place, he's also going to go for Regos. Trying to go for a stun, but a lasso. Is it enough? Oh. Got him kind of low. Kind of dangerous and low, but not quite bad. Root Turtle is going to stop Metro for just a second, but not really going to delay him. That slow is going to hit, but he's going to go for power shifting. While power shifting, he's going to go for regrowth and things. He's going to use the power shifting to break out of roots and also to catch up a little bit of healing. Knock back into Goer's Thunder, unfortunately, does not connect. Couple of regrowths. Metro, a 36% hit, but he's still able to do a decent bit of healing from those regrowths. Got himself full Target's Fury with Feral Frenzy, Maim. Big damage to follow up. Bleeds are in. Goer's with a Bloodlust. Is it going to be enough, though? It's either him or the Feral. The bleeds are already set. Metro trying to see if he can back away. Let the DAS do work. Goer's trying to see if he can catch up. The totems are at least putting a blunder onto Metro just for a second. The power shifting does get him out of that movement fairly easily. Unless Goer's moves the totem. Stun. Oh, he melded the stun. That totem was next to him, but he melded the stun to avoid it altogether. That is so good. Not often do I see Ferals or Nidus rather do a quick melting on a CC, but there, that was a meld. That was a meld because the totem definitely was in line of sight of him. Definitely was in line of sight of him. But the Feral gives himself a proper opener. Guerrero's picking up wall, or using wall, picking up eyes. Should be able to maybe possibly spot the Feral. If he moves the totem around, if that's a root totem, and the Feral goes into the root totem, maybe they'll catch him. But I think more or less he knows where the Feral's at. He has the general idea. Oh, Lasso, Trinket to follow, stunned by the Feral, Trinket by Guerrero's. Incarnation is going to be up. The Feral is going in for full damage, is going to get a maim. I think it's just light. Unless Goer's pick up a ton of healing. Ascendance in 2 seconds. Maybe he can make some work off of it. Big Ascend needs the damage, but needs a heal as well. Spear down by the Warrior into Urso, but the Warrior does not get delayed by his Stormbolt. Onto Metro. Big demolished Metro with a wall, trying to see if he can run out. Root into Krager, Blazo to break out over just a second. Yet another leap with the charger around the corner. Metro trying to see if he can escape. Roar, that's going to be the Warrior. Break it out of it, and the last bit of execute does take him out. The Feral did a fantastic, miraculous, amazing job surviving 4. But at the end of the day, when you have like no cooldowns left and there's a Warrior on your tail with all the mobility, like there's only so much you can do. Really, honestly, there's only so much you can do. Radimus is going to be up next. For Krager, there's going to be a tough duel. 47% dampening. We're at 9 minutes into the duel. Dust Reflect, trying to see if you can stop a stun from Radimus. Krager is going to have to be playing this very carefully. Not a lot of healing is available for him, so he's going to play very... A Paladin, not a Dawn Knight build. It is a Hammer build. For Krager, this could be maybe his a little bout of good luck. Into a Blessing of Protection. Can't really stop it. Krager has to play super defensively. All he can do is maybe go for shields, maybe leap. Radimus knows he's got the fear immunity. Not much he can really do. Reflect. He's making sure not to hide himself. Making sure not to hide himself. Stunned by Krager. Maybe be demolished. Maybe fear to follow up. He could go for a fear. Blind. Krager needs something here. Trinket. Maybe a reset, maybe a reheal, maybe just tough out the damage and try to see if he can pressure Radimus. Lay on hands by Radimus, so it's going to be a fresh new health bar for him to work with. And the fact that he can just ignore Mortal Strike, dampening, just to get a full refresh, ain't easy for him. Ain't easy for this Warrior, but it looks like the Paladin has actually peeled away from him long enough for him to get second wind and first aid, kicking up his self-healing as soon as possible. Best that I think Kraken can do in this situation is to try to maybe land a kick onto Radimus. Try to see if he can like stop him from bubbling. That could help, but like also reflect the Hodge would also be fantastic. It does go for a disarm. Still, Radimus got plenty of damage. Hodge and the Krager shouldn't do too much damage, but it's going to be a little, actually more than a little, as he gets another light hammer going. More hammers flying in. How many more hammers do you got? This man, brother, will try a tool shed full of hammers with him. Parry up for Krager, looking to get some healing. Spear down into Radimus. He cannot escape unless he bubbles it. Can he pressure him? Can he get a bubble out of the guy? It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. Stun, demolish, bubble follow. Krager can maybe pick up some healing. Does he have a leap? Does he have a leap? Next Hodge, however, unless Krager can Zerkers it to reduce it by 50%, Bladestorm it to immune it entirely, it might just be lights. He's got him some big shields to make sure none of the dots from the Paladin do reach his health, so you can at least get some recovery. 60% dampening. Even if he beats this Paladin here, it's going to be tough to beat all the other Paladins, I think. Or even Backflip or Leo. The only way that Krager has realistically can fight this is if they all give him like a second wind reheal. If they all give him a reset. And then there's a chance for Krager to maybe make this happen. But this dampening is pretty much ridiculously impossible. Looks at Krager with a big avatar ready to go. Does get him some potential damage. Zerkers to stop that stun. Actually was able to reduce it. Charging in after Radimus with a leap to follow off that stun. Does he have enough? This is one good hit, but look at the throw. The throw at the end to execute it was beautiful. Oh my god, that was so good. How much damage does it do base set in PvP? Is this enough to kill him? Leo looks like he's charging out, giving Krager just a slide breather. Not enough. Into immediate disarm and a reflect early on. So Leo is going to get hit by his own chain. Stun short. Battle sense available for Krager for just a second. Trinket it, but it's over. Yeah, it's over. That's rough. That's rough. There's no way. Like, unless they get him a full second wind, there's just not much you can do. The Pharaoh did such a good job. Pharaoh Blades and self-healing is incredibly good for what he wants. Very well done. Get ourselves... let's see if we can do one more. If the both teams are ready. Let's see if we can get ourselves an ONYXIA, boys. 356, I think it is. By the way, what's up, Killer? Hope you're having a good one, my guy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Looks like Krager's down to keep playing, so we're gonna keep going, boys. We are gonna keep on going on. Beautiful. Johnny ready? Need two. All right, Johnny needs a couple more bodies. Johnny's listed, needs a couple more bodies. So if you guys do want to join them, they'll be listed on the Molten Core. Krager needs one. Johnny needs two. There we go. Get +2 for Johnny. That'll be good to go. 1 sec. Can I join? We are on EU today. I'm pretty sure, Killer, you are NA. Tomorrow, you're more than welcome to join, but this is EU for the time being. But you're more than welcome to, yeah, definitely welcome to join. Definitely welcome to join. 100% guaranteed, man. Definitely. It's like having a chance to reform Blood Bowl charge. Just feels so good. Does it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That does sound good. Big Punishers. What is that small shield? Or is it just small for me? I like it, but it's so tiny for a orc. Man's name Big Punisher, but he's got small shield. I call him Small Punisher. Why does he look so tiny? Like in this preview window. I know I have like the UI like shrunk, but like his proportions make him look like tiny. Like even if it was giant, when you zoom out like this, he looks tiny proportions wise. I mean, is it just me? Is it just my brain? Brain broke? Let's see. Who else could you invite to the groups? I'll let Naspershka know. I don't know if he's already in. What about Rick? Rimaru. Oh, he's already Q1. Who else? Zakari? Ravage Wrath. Huh. Oh, that's who's in. Oh, okay. That's awesome. What about Toxie? I think I have a Tasty. I haven't, dude, we haven't had Tasty join duels in ages, man. Ages. I keep inviting him, but like he doesn't say anything to me anymore. Maybe he hates me, bro. Maybe Tasty is just like done with me, bro. Feels bad, man. Feels depressive. Wait, what is that thrash 2-second CD? How in the hell? 2-second CD? Holy. Damn. Jesus. It's before illegal. yeah. Dude, I still need to what is it? Get a couple more dungeons done. I think I'm gonna spam out this week so my rogue is fully best in slot. I'm gonna need to do tonight. I feel like after the stream I'm gonna get myself food, I'm gonna get some work done. I'm gonna chill on the couch for a bit and then go grinding those dungeons. Beautiful. We got enough bodies for one more as long as you do the list. Beautiful. We're in. Let's do a Blade's Edge. We haven't done a Blade's Edge so far. I know some of you guys like it, some of you hate it. I like it. My favorite arena by far. Here we go. Which? I have 1500 haste. When I have a weapon enchant ticket procs, which is like 70% of the dungeon, that's crazy good. Yeah, does Bear like procs on haste? I mean, I guess like more haste the better, right? I'm too used to Outlaw where like you want a certain amount of haste, but no proc. The proc is bad, it offsets everything. So yeah, I'm too used to playing like, oh, please don't proc. Any proc, give me more agility, but no secondary stats, please. Those gotta stay steady. Even too much crit is too much too. Sometimes, if I get too much of it, which I probably do at this point. Got us a backflip over the team one. I like the turkeys. I like the fact that you guys are embracing the turkey mounts. Is Radimus doing the same? No, Radimus not this time. Leo on the DK, stuck inside of a turkey. Judas, man, Judas, yeah, let's go. We got ourselves a Saya. Dude, what is this Pally DK team? And like, Judas? Yo, mount on that thing. Hold on. Judas, I want to see that mount. Judas, hold on a second. I will literally, Damocles, the sword. Awakened in human form, spear onto Saya, who's back in action. Leap by the warrior looking for a big demolish. Damocles, hopefully he knows he's going up against not only a paladin, which is already a tough matchup for a warrior, but also Saya on top of it, who plays Red Pally really well. To win every single match, Damocles taking huge hits though. Does pick up a little bit of health. Parry's still available. Does not have a trinket anymore, so he's got to be very, very careful. Maybe he can Zerker Rage the next stun. Blade Storm, so Saya knows to delay it. 5 seconds until Saya is stunned. Saya is also very particular on when he stuns too. Very particular. Damocles with a parry. Got himself a bit of that shielding. Does he have the embellishments to give himself a huge shield? Because he may need it here. He's starting to recover a little bit of health. He's dropped super, super low. But he might be still in a bit of trouble. Saya continuing to pump damage from a distance. Hodge not available. Fear is up, but no, unfortunately, Damocles does go down with regenerating out for Saya. I like his whole molten look he's got going on. I like it. The weapon fits it really well. But Sato is going to be up next. Sato is also another really bursty rogue. Love seeing him in these duels. Shut up! Big old oaf. I really got to mute him. Bro, he's just his stealth. Like, what do you... Well, they're trying to catch each other. Of course they're running around. What do you mean? Is it going to be full stun? Bro, that guy is this arena's biggest hater, man. Stun out onto Saya, full secret technique. Sato's having to fight into a shield of vengeance. Maybe a Hulk situation. Got himself a shield instead. Shield didn't live long at all, though. What was that shield? Blizzard nerfed the living hell out of that shield. That embellishment for a bit of absorb, they nerfed it. They gutted it. They didn't want players running around with it. They gave him more passive stamina, so you have a little bit more defense, right? You don't die as quickly when you have more stamina, but they nerfed that shield to make sure, I think, just so it's not like necessary just to live some of the burst. Blind up the wake of matches before Saya can land his own Dawnlight. I think this Poseidon needs to drop or just trying to run out. Sippy Cup barely keep him alive. Maybe he can make some kind of a burst happen here. Lay on hands, follow. Gouge right after. Zato's trying to see if he can walk out of there. This is going to be Judgment. Oh, he's dead. Oh, dead. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. I don't think Satos has anything. Yo, Satos just had Shadow Blades and Dance and everything available, but that's about it. Krager's up next. So far, Saya. You're just fighting through all of them. If you just perform an emote in between of their bursts, I thought you just bowed. Is that what happened? You just bow in between of all that? Is that what happened? Or was that some peculiar animation from an ability or something? Reflect out for Krager. Spear unfortunately doesn't connect with Saya. Saya making sure to keep himself at range. Saya realized the paladins have quite a decent bit of damage from range. So he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna let do damage and just kind of kite you out like I'm a feral druid. Just a feral druid with big plated gear and just literally looking out for you. Krager finally able to reconnect, doing decent damage as soon as he finally gets a melee of Saya, which is not easy with Hand of Freedom, as well as constant slow that Saya can do from a range. And the horse, we're using plenty of mobility. Like, it's just so much damage. Krager does pick up a bit of Rallying Cry. Parry's available, but he really needs to close the gap in order to make that parry do anything. Stun, unfortunately, does connect. Does Saya have enough here? Does not have Wake of Ashes, but it looks of it. Krager, with a bit of random proxy shield, does give himself a little bit of cover. Can go for a fear. Pick it up whatever health he can. I think borrowed health, but I don't really know if he's recovering a lot of health. Shields are holding on strong. Does pick up a little bit of healing. Demolish is going to connect, even if Saya does walk away. Defensive stance off Krager. Got himself a bit of parry, expecting something out of Saya, but no Hodge for a moment. Does go for even more slows. Saya is going to see a charge, but still got himself plenty of mobility to escape. Krager is just so tough for him to really stay on top of Saya. Does have a trinket for that stun. Saya still can have himself a big go. Avatar to try to remove the slows, but immediately as soon as he shells the slows, Saya hits him with even more. And look at the damage, the distance that Pally is keeping. He's doing it for a reason. He's doing it on purpose. Krager knows it. He's going to take a decent bit of damage. Defensive stance. Got himself Warbreaker. Disarm to try to see if he can stop some of Saya's damage while wings are active. Hodge available in 8 seconds. Krager is an okay enough spot to barely survive, but he's not really in like a winning position. That's going to be a Hodge really soon. Unfortunately, no Zerker's range for this one. He's going to barely live it, actually. Hold on, he's still alive. Normally, every Hodge is like pretty much almost secure dead. Stun, picking up a little bit of health. Big demolish. Maybe this will be enough. Does Saya? He just goes up for self-heals whenever he can. Man, the entire time Krager just tried to get close enough to finally hit the paladin, but he got so much mobility, so much range, fear just to stop him play trinkets right after. Krager picking up a bit of health, and this is where Saya knows he needs to break their shield to not give Krager any more self-healing whatsoever. Saya and both Krager are both super low. Whoa! Hold on a second! Hold on a moment! Give this man a breather! Beautiful, oh, gorgeous mount. How in the world? That's a lot of bubble, but I guess he didn't expect for like a massive crit. That was Krager's pure raw rage and frustration culminating in the final hit. That final last bout, that final last swing. Oh, look, I love my pally friends, but when you guys run and kite away from people so well and just melt them, I, as a rogue, do get frustrated with you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Krager with a parry, I don't know if he can survive Prod DK Burst. He survived the Paladin, but I don't know if he can survive Paul's Death Knight Burst. Look, Pally friends, I don't hate you boys, but I will say, sometimes the way that you guys play to win, which I understand you're trying to win, the way that you guys play can really be annoying for the other person. So, like, incredibly frustrating. As a rogue, trust me, it is frustrating for me, man. I know, I was a rogue frustrate people, but Pallies frustrate me when they do that. When they just kite you and run you and they can't touch them. I'm out of grapples, I'm constantly slowed. It's the worst. And the warrior, without any ways to remove slows, also, whoa, hold on a second. Maybe Krager picks the second one. Hold on a second. Whoa. Maybe extra veer. Oh, unfortunately, side. The Reaper Judas came to play and came to win. Krager almost got a second one. Man, lucky crits. Lucky crits. There's lucky crits. Judas is in trouble though. That is a scent. Oh, beautiful Mount Judas. That thing is gorgeous. I want to see more of it, future man. I'd love to see you in these duels more often. Big burst immediately as Leo just trying to see if he can stabilize, but Johnny just taking that full ascent and not letting Leo do anything with it. Yet another big hit. There goes the stun. Trigger follow. Wall right after. Does not have a knockdown anymore. Silence for a second. Johnny cannot heal. He just shrinks. I like how he shrunk. He can get himself a heal. Big Tempest. Blind for a second. Leo's not in a great spot. Can maybe heal. Johnny picking up a bit of shielding. Lasso. Well, IBF out of it. You can still throw him a totem, right? You could knock him out with a totem maybe. I imagine. Root totem, walking away. He just walks out of it with a Death Advance. Knock him with a totem by the grip. Get it back in. It's like a yo-yo action. Does Johnny have enough here? He needs a heal. Johnny needs a heal. Down to another lasso. And Leo just needs something to survive here. Johnny gets himself yet another heal. Could be anyone's game. Dome is down, so Leo's got himself at least a little bit of defense. AMS is huge, but Johnny still got melee damage. He's still got a decent bit of melee damage that can actually just puncture through with those wind strikes. Oh, silence for a second, Johnny. Oh, the scythe twice now. The beacon gets close, and then a scythe takes it. A Lion is going to be up next. Last one over for the team 2. Trying to see if we can fight through. The DK has nothing left. One more scythe in the bank. That's about last bit of juice he's got left. It's going to be Radimus next. Maybe I mean, Lion. Oh, is it going to win here? Actually, both Paladins are pretty even, right? I'd say both are pretty even. Hammer versus Dawnlight, though. I think that is going to be the deciding factor. Radimus playing the Hammer. Does go for a blind. Shield events up for a Lion. Letting the Hammer drop. Letting the Shield event soak it up anyway. And Lion got himself the Dawnlight. Are you going to go healing Dawnlight or damage Dawnlight? Because that's a lot of hammers. If you can't get away from Radimus, those hammers are going to stack up. They do a lot more immediate damage. He's going to be Spell Warden. He's like, you know what, Dawnlight? I don't want to feel it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know nothing about it. I'm just going to keep hammering away. Lion is having to switch to more defensive play. But Radimus self-healing is kind of limited. He does himself another set of hammers flying in. Does he have another big light hammer going? You can build up for that. That'd be huge. Lion got a little bit of damage from the side, though. Harsh Faller. That might be a bubble out for Radimus. Does go. Lion still got 2 big immunities in the back pocket and a lay in hands. Radimus, I think, should also have a lay in hands, right? Radimus might be able to play around into later hands, but so far, Lion with that Dawn Knight, keep it on the float. Bro, so much fun. Kind of feels like Assassin from BFA. Pretty much, yeah. I feel like in some cases, Pharaoh feels more assassination than assassination. I think the problem is assassination is about bleeds, but they really, at least for PvE content, really emphasize poison damage. And really bank into poison damage while toning down bleeds. Bleeds is still good in PvP, don't get me wrong. You know, the passive bleed and cleave damage, it's all really good. But in Venoms, it definitely feels like the PvE design is very heavy into poisons. And I wish that allowed assassination to have a more bleed heavy PvE design like we did in the past, we did previously, and that was really, really good. The bleed stuff we could do was wild, but yeah, not as much nowadays. Lay in hands. Lion still has all the forbearance buttons. I feel like Radimus is honestly, unless you can find a way just to break through the burst here, Lion with a full immunity looking to end this duel, stun into Radimus. Lion have enough damage though. Unless you commit all the Dawnlight into a Radimus, unless Radimus big hammer crit. One hammer? Not enough. He did have procs to follow up, but it's going to be backflip immediately into those hammers as Lion does not want to waste any procs. Going to send him into the monk immediately. He's got himself some healing, but at 52% dampening, those vivifies. I was going to say there are Vivi Knives, but like it didn't work, right? It was like not healing, you're not healing. But that joke did not work out. I thought it'd be funnier to explain the joke than try to make the joke. You know what I mean? Blind backflip does get himself karma. So really, this is one big defensive. This is going to have to force out a bubble out of Lion. But look at the monk. Even though monks have good mobility, even the pally is able to dog walk him a little bit, right? Literally put him on a golden leash. Lion your health. I do not know if you're going to live that. Port and backflip just got to run. Run, Rudolph. Santa is not coming to town. Ain't getting no presents for you. But next turn, next Hodge. Oh, I think it might be lights on this backflip. Just lives and has a proc. Nope. Paladins, man. Paladins. Lion picking up 3. Holy Sire with 2. Cracker somehow landed the kill. It's a Sire doing more healing than damage. That is hilarious. Oh, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Alrighty, boys. Are we doing more or are we done? Because it is about that time. It is getting late over in the EU. My tummy is giving me the grumblies. The grumblies. It's more like a pit. It's more like it's just empty and painful. It actually just in pain. Actually just in pain. This is why I probably need to do a better job eating before these streams. Yeah. The product means I have a 4.5 second cooldown on Frost down to 4.9, which is a big cause. Not spamming uses Moonfire. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Like crits F me? You're good, Sai. You're good, man. You can't get them all, right? Can't get all of them. Let's see if Krager is down. Maybe he'll message me. Maybe 5 minutes will go by and I won't hear nothing. But we'll see. We'll see if the groups are still available. Because if he wants to keep playing, I'm down. But it is that time in EU where I perfectly fine stopping as well. Dude, I love watching Warriors club with Paladins. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a hate against Paladins. I just feel like it's a duel that's just so one-sided. I feel like Pally wins that 9 times out of 10. But when a Warrior finds a way past him, takes him out, It is beautiful. Down for one more. Let's do one more. He's also down. Now grand, boys. The grand. I feel like pallies are going to be probably less like frustrating to watch from 1v1 perspective. When Blizzard does something about Dawn Light, it takes away like the dot gameplay, right? I feel like that's frustrating. I also don't think it fits Paladin super well because they're not dot class or a healing over time class in Holy. I feel like they just got to rework it into some other effect. Big Hammer works. Hammer is fine. Lightsmith, where you buffs of shield and weapons, fine. Dawn Light, I mean, Eternal Flame and make it a fire dot thing works, but I don't think it's great. I don't think it's good gameplay. It's too passive, and I feel like it kind of they could do so. They could keep the Eternal Flame as an ability with thematics, but have Dawn Light maybe do like so that your holy power builders hit really hard over spenders or something along those lines, right? So like Hammer, big builder damage or spender damage, while the other one, big builder damage, more sustain. Make you play into Templar strikes, right? Maybe have the strikes leave off some kind of like an echo of an attack or something. Something along those lines. I think it'll be sick too. Look which. Got ourselves team 1. Oh, look at that beauty. Look at that absolute beauty. Oh, you dismounted. I was going to look at the beauty. I was going to appreciate you mount for a little bit longer. Johnny's going to be first up. Ascend versus Paladin. Blessing of Saint. Immediate immunity. Johnny. Wait, Johnny kept hitting. Your wind strikes. They're still going through. Yeah, you still got melee damage. You got to remember, wind strikes is essentially just, it's a melee. It's a storm strike. Just decides to become ranged. It's still a storm strike. Big Tempest will not go through, unfortunately, but everything else is going to do a lot. Tiny stun is going to be trinket. Lasso. Oh, hold on a second. Did you just die? Oh, lay on hands. He trusted the lay on hands. Dude, that could have been next level out of Jonathan's just to snuff out that life. Could have been a big Tempest, and you trusted that lay on hands a little too actively. As Radimus is going to try to see if he can back up out of there. That is a big button at the very least. Johnny, if you can go for another go. Unfortunately, you don't have like a, you can't go for like a minute ascendance. Imagine if shamans have minute ascendance, right? That'd be cruel. That'd be wild. But every 2 minutes, he can go for biggest burst out there. But he's still going to try to see if he can get some pressure. Maybe a totem. I don't know if the totem catches Radimus. It does not. I hate how inconsistent that static totem is. Sometimes it catches the target, sometimes it doesn't. I think it's a matter of line of sight. But sometimes it works without line of sight, and other times it doesn't. I don't get it. Hey, Dal. What's up, Mr. Satiri? Shadowplay is good at PvP at the moment. I heard that they're good for like threes and solos, but I don't really see a lot of Shadowplays, and I know for duels they're in a rough spot. I think Shadowplays, like on paper, maybe not terrible. I just don't see that many of them. I'll tell you that right now. I know their damage can be good, but it feels like they're just like a DPS bot. You know what I mean? They need a stun, in my opinion. I really do think they need to give him Psychic Scream again. No, hold on. Psychic Scream, is that a fear? Psychic, whichever one was like disorient / stun. They need the stun back. I don't know the Shadow Priest abilities all too well. But they are fun. They're just not really mobile. I do hate that. There's going to be some zaps onto Radimus. Big damage with Johnny. Actually continuing to get more Tempest back to back. It's going to be bubbled. It's Johnny plus the defensive here. He did use Burrow already. No wall available. Trinket available. Not available yet. Also, it does not play grounding. I think grounding against Paladin would have been fantastic, though timing it can also be very, very difficult. There goes Ascend. There goes Ascend. He's going to send the man to heaven. Try to see if he can live it. Oh, Radimus ain't living that one. Ascend versus a Paladino once wings are gone. Judas is that. Whoa, hold on. Is it Judas even? Wait a second. It's not even Judas. Hold up. Oh, it is Judas? I guess they make it a Judas fight. Johnny thought like it was going to be Swarver's next. He didn't want to waste that Ascend. Looks like Judas is getting sent. Hold on. Lasso. Oh, Judas does take it. Okay, I'm not even sure it's supposed to be Judas, boys. I'm not even sure it's supposed to be Judas. Hold on a second. Whoa. Alarisha, give him a breather. Hold on. I think we were trying to figure out who's going to be first, who's going to be next. Judas wasn't even supposed to go next. He's not even ready. He asked, now he's forced to be ready, but he wasn't even ready. Let's at least have AMS. Got him some Wraithwalk. I guess they'll force him first. I think it was supposed to be Johnny next. That's unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. But that's sometimes what happens. A bit of miscommunication, a bit of assumptions in a duel. One in one scenario, you can't really talk to the other team unless you actually know them as friends or whatever. But yeah. Jump the gun. I think Johnny Sins definitely jumped the gun a little bit on his own too. I don't know if Judas could live this. Yeah. I feel like if it was prepared, maybe he would have been able to, like mentally prepared. But otherwise, yeah. Yeah. Bop, insta. Oh. A lot of trick with a bop. You're going to be burning that bubble here in a second. Yeah, there it is. I don't know if you meant to bop or spell warden. Maybe I meant to Spell Warden. But Leo is now forced to just retreat here a little bit. Ladoshek now is down without any big immunity. Blind. He's got himself plenty of survivability. Been a Paladino and all. Trying to see if he can keep the pressure onto Johnny. As he got IBF to break out of the stun. Dome down as he realizes he has nowhere to go. He has to take the damage from Ladoshek. So he might as well go for the Dome and some Death Strikes to rotated AMS to give himself at least a little bit of survivability. But those shields, they get burned through so fast. Like Leo can only do so much against the damage. Unless he can get himself another big burst. Maybe a silence with a Ladoshek. He's just not in a great spot. Next stun. It's 5 seconds. Gonna be very deadly. Leo trying to see if he can make a play. Ladoshek got a Hodge very, very soon. Silence so the Hodge can go through. Leo, this is your chance to make something happen. Big side. Do you have a second one? Second side does go through. It's gonna be Leo in hands. Leo with a blind, just trying to see if he can walk out of the death pack. Does get used, so you get himself a little bit of help, but unless he can AMS this damage. Death Strikes is all he's got. Great AMS, but he's not going to be a Hodge out of Ladoshek. At least he's going to help absorb some of the holy damage from the Paladino. Leo, stun is coming out very, very soon. Leo will not have a trinket for it. This is a rough spot. 3 seconds on a Hodge. If a Ladoshek catches up to him with Hand of Freedom, it's going to be pretty easy. I think it just might be lights. Leo does not have an answer here. Unless a Ladoshek just doesn't have enough damage. I mean, he's got to have stuff. He's got to have more than enough. It's a Paladino. It is a tough one. Next is either going to be Saya or it's going to be a backflip, and Saya is rushing out. I love that this man is still rocking the T-Rex. It's like the only man rocking a T-Rex mount. It is a good mount. I feel like if that mount was hard to get, more people would be running around on it, but because it was like basically a freebie gimme, like nobody runs it. Nobody uses it. People were like, cool! And then like a week later, it was like, whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like that happens a lot. I feel like mounts that you get from a mythic boss, like at the like tail end of an expansion, people run those. But like a mount that's a freebie gimme, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Even though it looks cool, it's one of the more unique mounts, unique animations. But it's just so sad. You know what I mean? The value of the mount ends up being so low, even though it looks so cool. But most people look at it as kind of low value because it's just a freebie. It's done onto a Ladoshek. Saya's taking a decent bit of damage. A Ladoshek, however, is walking into this with not a lot. So Saya puts enough pressure, he's going to be able to break and bend the guy. Fortunately, it does go down. Damocles, Sados, and Kragar are the last ones left over in T2. Even giving him a chance to regenerate. Kragar, your duel versus Saya last time was amazing. It was incredible, and you did get one up over Saya. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that every single time, however. Stun is going to be the Paladin looking for a leap into a spear. He knows he can't go out. He's going to be a full stun. Bop right after his Kragar, unless he has a way to stop it. He's going to be able to leap out at the very least, so might be able to get away. Bladestorm to try to see if he can remove any slows, which is good. You might as well use it. If you're not going to use Bladestorm offensively, you might as well use it just to escape. Charging in. You got to make sure he gets a slow onto Saya. The Saya can always just remove the slows pretty easily. I mean, Hand of Freedom as well as Force, I'm pretty sure does it both, right? But also I think Consecration removes slows from him too. He's got a lot of anti-slow mechanics, in fact. Pretty sure it's a talent for Paladin, like a PvP talent or something. Kragar does have a little bit of shielding. Does have parry in case he needs to. Stun short onto Saya. Does have to go for a parry. Saya's taking a decent bit of damage here and there. But unless if Kragar goes in for a huge hit, unless he gets those big crits, it's going to be rough leaping. But unfortunately does not connect with Saya. Got himself, throws yet another charge. Looking to reconnect. Reflect for demolish the top of it. No Hodge on a Saya for a second, but now he has a Hodge. So likely Kragar can expect one. Might need to go for a shield, or if here, blind, it's probably going to be a Hodge, right? It's probably going to be a Hodge. Trinket available for Kragar. I didn't realize he had a trinket, so maybe that's why he was fine staying next to him. Fear may need to come out. There is a lay on hand, so Saya's going to get a full heal. Kragar with the Fear. That's going to be trinket out for Saya. He knows he wants to get through the shields of Kragar super fast, so Kragar does not get any second wind healing whatsoever. Kragar, whatever little shields you're getting, as long as Saya doesn't break him actively, it is going to give a slight bit of healing. At 41% dampening, though, it is not looking that good. Saya starting to take some hits. Spirit to follow. I don't know if Kragar really has anything to follow up. That is Avatar, but a Shield of Vengeance right after. Stun to follow. Wake of Ashes is in play, and Kragar is just going to get hit by double Dawn Lights on the Reflect for just a second, dampening some of the damage, but there's only so much you can do. Yet another Spear. Saya has a bubble in case he needs it. Yet another, yep, just bubble. Doesn't want to know if that Demolish is going to do enough damage. Leap by Damocles, trying to see if he can get out of there immediately. Saya backing up out of there to look for a bit of a reheal. That is so rough. I don't really know. I don't really know what a warrior can do a lot of the times versus a Paladino. Best you can do is maybe, the only way I think you can really get an upper hand is if you reflect a Hodge. That's I think the only way you can really do it. But that movement, he's got so much damage at range. Warriors watching him charge, like they have a way to close the gap, but they don't have a way to maintain that low gap. You know, they don't have like constant move speed. They have like a little sprint they can use. They don't have a little like I don't know, burst of speed they could use. Thinking of like a rogue ability from back in the day that lets you just sprint after everybody, just walk away from targets. It was insanely OP. But Damocles is still trying to make some damage happen. So a Hodge, it's just over. Never mind, it's just over. Unfortunate. But it does go down. Step by the rogue, stunned to follow side. Doesn't have a bubble. Does he have a lay on hands though? If he has a lay on hands, then maybe make something work. Sados is gonna be trying to keep the pressure rolling to Saya. When he needs a wake of ashes, then he heal himself. If he can do that, he'll be golden. Ah! Yeah, no lay on hands. Sados doesn't take him out. Sados did use the Shadow Blades, so he will have limited offensive power. But against backflip, he got a trinket. He's got evasion. He's got a blind. He's gonna get booped, but he's gonna catch a wrist up almost. Oh no, pick up eyes. He can't do it. Blind. You trinket. You don't. Kidney. Trinket that. Legs to follow. Trinkets that we're after is going to be evasion to follow. Backflip, we're not going to be able to do too much. Sados actually can go through the Fits of Fury. I'm pretty sure Shadow Strike should be able to hit right through. But he's going to end up port out, port in, gouge for a second. Sados needs a reset. Vanish. He picks up eyes. Might be able to find the rogue, but the rogue is in an okay spot right now. And now that backflip does not have a trinket, Sados, it's really up to you. Oh, in cap! You have a leg sweep? You don't have a leg sweep. Karma. So Sados now has to play defensive cloak. Or Shadows just to fight through it. You do still have Karma reflecting damage, but the rogue is immune to the damage back. You do have the damage that stops your health from moving at least. Next leg sweep is what backflip needs to win this duel. Into a Viz by the rogue. Do you have any dots on him? No, he does not. So now it's up for backflip to try to see if he can get a leg sweep on him. That's all he can do. If the rogue goes in for, oh, blades, it's over. Wait, no, hold on. You can maybe still leg sweep him. If you in-cap him, Crackling Jade keeps him in combat. If you leg sweep him right here, right now, in-cap. In-cap clubs him. Fort, in-cap. Keeper shields, leg, burst. Do you have enough? Mug burst is not enough. Not enough. Sados has no help whatsoever. So pick up, step for a second. Oh, no, it's enough. It is enough. It is enough. It is enough. Sai picked up 3. Alashek picked up 2. Paladins, they match each other almost in damage. Definitely match each other in healing. Pretty close, actually. Wild. All right. Question is, do we do more or are we done? Leave that one to Krager. Leave that one to my boy Krager. Turbulent Timeways dates changed on PTR. Hold up. The original preview, it was looking like it was going to be the beginning on June 16th. Leading players to believe that's the intended release date. However, with the latest 12.7 PTR build, Turbulent Timeways has been pushed back to June 30th, a whole 2 weeks later than previously expected. Could this be a sign that Blizzard is taking feedback related to 12.05 seriously? Taking some extra time for patch 12.07, breaking away from the strict 8-week patch cadence to assure a higher quality release. Ah. Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Johnny said ready for more. Krager's looking for more bodies. Are we gonna do again? We looks like we're gonna do one more, boys. Gotove? Oh my god, we're doing more. I'm surprised you guys still have Orinya. I think we've done all the maps, right? Do we just do a different arena at this point? Like some arena we haven't done in a while? Do we do like some like Maldraxxus, some crazy wacky stuff like that? Damn. Maldraxxus? We do Maldraxxus, I guess. I quit the game because of a red paladin and still the same. No shot they quit because of one class. I feel like red paladin are not even OP in like solos and like group content. They're pretty popular. But yeah, they're pretty OP in like 1v1, but I wouldn't call them OP everywhere else. They do fall. It can get frustrating for sure though. I've seen the time of people who haven't experienced any nerf Blizzard. It wasn't time of people who haven't experienced. I think with Paladin, the problem really arose is when Paladin got a layer in hands that ignores dampening and don't light. I feel like those two mechanics, if they were really worked, I feel like that would make Paladin much easier to like deal with. What's weird too is like even Paladin players have like ideas of what Blizzard could do to make the class better, and it's a lot of the times it's like, hey, I just want to have decent mobility. And Blizzard is like, oh, okay, we're not gonna give you that, but we are gonna give you more damage. It's like, well, I take damage, but can I have mobility again? Like I have in WoD? And it's like, nope. Nope. Can I have some focus damage? Nope. Nope. You know what I mean? Which they have really their own idea what a pally should be, eh? It's very evident. Haven't done this place in a hot second. It does look atmospherically good, except when you realize those dudes up above, they're like literally floating. They're not even touching the floor. They're literally just floating. And there's like multiple cracks for some reason. That big guy in the corner, for some reason, they just have a bunch of them. It is going to be who's first up. Goeris versus Judas. Shrink gets up immediately by the shaman. Is going to burrow his head in the ground, just trying to ignore the massive DK that just chased it after him. The bony DK with a katana. Man, just after his bones the entire time. Goeris just trying to see if he can avoid him. Last to follow. He's actually doing, look at that ASUS damage. Basically did like 40% of his health. Just hanging out, man. Crazy. Sentence is up. Judas with a blind. Swap to the wrong person entirely. He's just going to walk away. Figueroa's catch up though. He does have Ghost Rule, which is going to give him some movement speed, but looks like he's still slowed quite a decent bit from the Chain of Ice. Judas is just trying to control him. Is going to yoink him back in. Ascend still active for the time being. Judas does go for a stun onto Goeris. Is it going to be enough though? Does get himself a chains for just a moment. Big damage with breath available. Grips available yet again. Goeris trying to see if he can escape this as best as possible. The Chain of Ice is just slowing him down permanently. Totem is not going to be able to catch up to him. And Judas just walking around the corner. Just beating him. With some Tempest procs out for Goeris. He's getting the damage he needs. Them lightning bolts also doing quite good. Breaking through the AMS quite handily. And Judas got himself a couple of death strikes here and there. Looking to keep the cleave rolling as best as possible. Big obliterate to follow. This is going to be Death Pact right after. Trinket right out to follow. And Judas, I'm trying to figure out if he's like in an okay spot. His cooldowns are coming up. His cooldowns are coming up, so I think he's got himself potentially a winning strategy here. Run around the corner as long as he goes for full stun, full burst. Goeris could be under trouble. Is going to be a Strangulate? No, unfortunately, he doesn't have the silent Strangulate, but he does get himself the double stun combo. Wall out for Goeris. Is it going to be enough? The Goeris needs a heal, but the scythe absolutely ripping right through him. Barely. He's alive. He's alive. Does Judas have any more sights? He's got IBF just to live. Goeris just took the damage to the face and lived. What in the world? Not out. Not out of the woods. Needs another heal. Judas has no health. Quick blind. That's going to be lead by Goeris. Staying on him. It's going to go for a freeze with a frost shock. It's just barely enough to keep him rolling. AMS out and Judas just walking out of there. Just trying to see if he can escape. Dropping death and decays. Big leap by the shaman. Lasso to wrangle him up. Oh my. Literally took him out. Put a leash on the boy and walked him around the park. What in the world? I honestly thought it was over for the shaman. Like the Death Knight Frost DK damage, I don't see a lot of Frost Death Knights in PvP. In those we do see a decent bit, but not in general. But they do have quite crazy good burst. Like unfathomable amounts of damage. It's a really high burst. But that's all about it. They don't really have a lot of sustain, but that burst window over 45 seconds, very active. Ascend out for Goeris does get a storm, which is unfortunate. He still can cast some spells over at the monk. Not too many. Unfortunately, try to remove the totem, but not at the right moment. So he's just gonna have to go for a heal. Yeah, the monk is gonna completely avoid that ascend. That is so rough. That is so rough. I don't know if Goeris has any damage pressure outside of ascend. Maybe, but like that is his big ace in a hole. Though he didn't necessarily need it against the Death Knight. It did help. It definitely helped. Though actually, hold on. Death Knight did control the ascend too, did he not? Maybe old Goeris needs a bit of damage. Couple of Tempest procs and the lasso. Let it channel fully. Karma immediately. Goeris with a wall. He's gonna have to find a way to fight through a Karma. I guess he just needs to focus on the self heals. Big shields for backflip, but they don't last long at all. And that Karma breaking through. Goeris get hit with an incap. Leg sweep or follow. Wall was active for a short bit. Do you have anything to follow up here? May need a totem. Let's go for a leap. I don't know if you could drop a stun totem next to him or something. Anything. Disarm for a moment. Limited on how much maelstrom he could generate. Ring of Peace kind of boops him away, but a touch of death. Backflip got him low enough to finish him off very quickly. Well done. This arena, I decided to try it out because we haven't been to Muldraxxus in a second. But I'm starting to think maybe that the pillars initially and the big spacing that this arena has. Initially, we thought that for duels it was maybe a bit too big. Kind of like a Tolvaron. Though Tolvaron was actually pretty comfy, I feel like the pillars for this are maybe a little bit too massive for 1v1 combat. Plus, mobile classes, look, I mean, how fast Backflip was able to get away from Kragar. There's only so much he could do. Leaping after him with the spear, trying to see if he can make the demolish happen. Parry to follow, stop Backflip's damage. All you can really do right now at this point is try to see if you can get charges around the corner when backflip does round the bend. Disarm for a second on the warrior. Got a couple of fisticuffs. Next is gonna go Zerker. Oh, Trinket with an execute. Just like that. Trinket though might put him in a rough spot because there's Paladins as well as Leo on the other team. So you might have muted Trinket. But whoever's next, you better go because this is going to be probably Krager's best situation. Dampening not too high, only 5 minutes, so at least you can get some healing out of it. Krager trying to see if he can get himself a much better ankle. Did we lose somebody over in team 2? I feel like we lost a warrior. Unless one already got to play. There could be wrong with that. Blind to follow, disarm onto Radimus. He's just trying to see if he can play it super steady. Leave by Krager. He knows he needs to catch back up to Radimus every time. The problem with Krager is he always has to be popping hamstring on the Paladin just so you can like stay on him the entire time. Paladins seem to like avoid warriors super well. Even if you get hit by hamstring, they just move. They're just moving. Though Krager finally able to get some decent melee damage, forcing pressure onto Radimus enough for him to go for lay on hands. Krager charging in, picking up a little bit of healing. He's trying to always maintain, ignore pain at all times. Though it gets used up so fast, Krager, at no help whatsoever, maintaining himself like a fear and a huge shield and leap away maybe. He's still just staying in there. Hodge reflected back at Radimus. Oh, defensive stance. I think you need a leap, right? Leap, shield, get yourself some healing. The fact that he was able to reflect a Hodge back at him was insane. 18 seconds until Hodge is back up and available. Are you going to be able to stay up on it? Krager is super low in health. Does go for a fear shield just to get himself whatever healing trinket out for Radimus spear. Just to keep him at a distance. Reflect up, but unfortunately there's no Hodge just yet. Reflect to summon back at himself. Charge. Krager may need to go for a parry. May need a parry or blade storm here. May need something because there's going to be a Hodge. Unfortunately, does Zerkers it? I think he might have Zerkered it. He didn't say that stun long at all. Charging back in. Needs a couple good hits. Shield of Vengeance is not going to feel good at all. Krager, whatever procs you get with a shield, is going to be a massive stun for a short second. It's going to bop. Krager does reflect something, but it's not a Hodge. Parry's available just to give himself a little bit extra defensive, just to dampen some of the damage. Let second wind start healing him. Trinket, but Hodge still coming up soon. Krager looking to maybe see if he can possibly make something happen. Hodge is going to be out for Radimus. Is that enough? How are you alive? How is your health not going down? I was thinking it was going to be over. Full avatar is available. Shockwave for just a second. Big demolish. You have big damage to follow up. Try to make those mortal strikes work. Big execute. Reflect us up. Oh my god. Didn't do it. Well done. Leo's up next, and Krager unfortunately is absolutely spent. Maybe he can blade storm. Leap. Oh. Yoink back in. Oh no. Pretty sure, does Blade Storm allow you to be yoinked, by the way? I don't know if you could have like leap, Blade Storm. I'm pretty sure you used it as instantly as you could. But that leap into a grab, it's such a classic. It's such a classic. A big old, get over here. Not much you can do. I think the leap is the right move though. All the else you can do is maybe try to leap behind the line of sight somewhere, but I don't really know if you got a good angle. I think you went distance. But now the Rogue, I think, is gonna, like, there's what a Death Knight can do against a Rogue. For 8 minutes in the duel, 41% dampening, disarmed, unable to heal. Death back as a last ditch effort. And Satos is the one that's like the menace. Normally the Death Knight would be the slow and walking death, like a zombie approaching you, or like some kind of like a demonic entity. Unkillable, unstoppable. Mr. X from like Resident Evil series type of deal, right? Just you can't stop it. You can just try to hide and delay it. But this time the Rogue is the one that takes that role against the Death Knight. It's wild. Saya over on the team 1 versus Satos and Aladoshuk. I think at this point, between Satos and Aladoshuk. Oh, he's about to pick up eyes. Did not walk through it. Walk around it. I guess he did just walk around it, huh? I think we were trying to run through it for a second. But between Satos and Aladoshuk, I feel like at this point, Satos, all he could do is try to see if he can force some cooldowns out of Saya, and then for Aladoshuk to come in for a finish. Possibly. This is going to go almost landing a stun. That Shuriken throw is to make sure that he can always step to him. Let the Shuriken connect, so he goes for kidney as soon as the Shuriken stops. Because that's going to be full max call points, and then letting him get a proper opener there. Saya just continuing to dump damage into Satos, who got evasion and Cloak of Shadows, trying to see if he can force cooldowns out of Saya. Big coup de grace, but Saya is quick on the draw with a lay on hands. Vanish out for Satos into a Shadow Strike right after. Just try to see if he can keep the pressure rolling. Blind on the Saya, who did have Blessing of Sync, but apparently the Sync does not stop blind. It would have reduced it heavily, but I guess blinds ignore it. Good to know. Good to know. I was pretty sure it was good against Disorients, but is it only stuns or incapacitates? I need to double check Blessing a Saint just to make sure I know it. Pick up the other eyes, or are you just waiting on them? Might have just been waiting on them. Did they even spawn ever? If they did spawn, I know missed it completely. Cheap shot. Trinket by Saya. Hodge got him some damage. Sados does not have too many options here. He does have a trinket, does have evasion. But I think right now he's just trying to see if he can get whatever damage he can, which Saya does go for a kidney shot right after. Whatever damage you got, it's a lot actually. Holy, he got a lot of damage. Advantage, but he's still dotted. He's trying to see if he can run away. Maybe he can use Shadow Step to get back behind Saya or just run away. That Consecration, unfortunately, is going to slow him down. Next down by Saya in 7 seconds is going to be Deadly. Sados does have a trinket. Does have blades. Hold on a second. Does have blades. Does have something to work with. Hodge. Oh, wait. Saya immediately bubbled. Sados did his job. Sados did the right job. So now it's up to a lot of Strict to finish it, but Sados, you did a great job. You got Bubble, Bob, lay on the hands out of Saya, force defenses, put some pressure on him. So now a lot of shit can go in. If you was a technically do as a team gameplay, even though you're fighting 1v1, but as a team, you guys did really good. You guys did really good. Hey! Well done, Cracker, picking up those two beautiful hits. Wonderful. Good. Good. Alrighty. Are we done? It is later than you. Or do we guys gonna go on more? It is it's only 4:45, 43 for me. For me it's not too bad on time. But for you guys, it is late. So yeah. Uh, 350 something. Oh, not bad. Wait, Cracker's making more groups? No shot. Hold on a second. Johnny, are we doing more? Are we doing more? What's gonna happen? Is Cracker not coming in for duels next week and we're just trying to get more games now? Just to get him out of our system? Johnny also needs more, by the way. Johnny needs more bodies. If you guys want to find him in LFG, one is lifts under Noxtramas, the other under Multi-Core. If you guys want to find him, Raid's Legacy, and you can join up. Real quick. Cracker got 5. Beautiful. Hell yeah. Alright. Wonderful. What maps do you even do? Should we just go back to like Nagrand, I guess, at this point, or just do other maps? I feel like that one wasn't that great. Look at the way. What maps do we do is the question. Cracker got a delist. Okay, there we go. What map do I do? Sorry. Here we go. Johnny Cracker. What map do I do, man? Ashamains? I haven't done Ashamains in ages. So since we're doing so many duels today, I might as well just go to all the other maps. Yeah, Maldraxxus, I don't think it's worth adding a rotation. It was a nice, nifty little feature. Nifty little map. Not worth it, though. We'll try Ashamains. Man, I finally put Diablo 4 on my SSD. I got a loaded screen instead of a MIM. No, dude, seriously. Yeah, Diablo is the type of game you need on SSD. I did the same thing. I used to have it on a hard drive, but then transfer it. I got a separate SSD for games. So I have one SSD just for WoW. Because I know WoW is going to be adding updates, but like PTR, Classic, all that. And then I got a separate SSD for like all the other games. One of the biggest differences I noticed is Marvel Rivals putting that on SSD. Miles better. Although the game still runs like shit sometimes, but still miles better. Diablo was definitely a good experience. Yeah. Basically any online game with any type of loading or any type of assets, it helps tremendously. Did I save that one? I think I did. But just in case. Alrighty. Which. Got ourselves backflip over for the team 2. Rushing out headstrong versus, what is it, Radimus? It is Radimus. Nero, we got a, oh, wait, that guy actually looks like a proper demon hunter. Hold on a second. I kind of like his like very Illidan like Mog he's got going on. You know what? Even though Illidan is like the proper like the demon hunter that's like the most well known. He literally got some pants, no shoes, no shirt, glaives, and a sash. And that's it, and just tattoos. That's it. But like every other demon hunter outside of that usually just like goes like full armor set. You know what I mean? Fully clothed. And it's like, you would think it would be more demon hunter style, like Illidan style demon hunters, like shirtless, running around, fighting demons and all that. But it's actually everybody just goes in full armored. Even though Legion as expansion try to give him as many like, you know, as many sets that show as much skin as possible. But it's up where they're just, all right, armor sets. It feels like that's all they get as far as tier sets nowadays, which I don't hate. You know, it's a far cry from just pure leather everything, which I do kind of like the Fel Reaver set. That was sick. Next sweep is backflip, trying to see if he can get some damage, but without a trinket, he's kind of put himself in a rough spot. Does get protection immediately out for Radimus, trying to get the pressure rolling in. Backflip at the very least got good mobility. With some of the smaller pillars here, he's actually able to get himself, look at that zonal action with the Ring of Peace, able to just get away from him completely. By the way, again, gorgeous, beautiful mount, looks so good. Stun. Backflip, unfortunately, in a rough spot. Radimus, though, not really feeling confident to stay in and put pressure. He's just going to go for that range gameplay, let Dawnlight do work, but I really think he needs to run in and make some damage happen. Try to be very, very careful with the damage of backflip. Try to see if he can chase up to him. Shields are up, but they're not going to last long at all, though. Long enough for Radimus to not really commit too much Dawnlight damage on him. By the looks of things, the backflip is able to at least survive this just fine. Though without a trinket, 20 seconds, I'm not going to have it. Unless he's got mobility. If he can just buy himself some time, dude, 15 seconds on a trinket, then it'll be maybe okay. Incap is available, so you can go for leg sweep. Trinket available for Radimus, though. So this is going to be backflip, I think, just waiting until his own trinket is back up and running. Got himself another port. At least the monk got plenty of mobility. Trying to wait out and buy himself some time until some cooldowns are ready. So now he's got Karma. He's got himself Zenith. He's got himself Sweep. He's got trinkets. And now it's time for him to take some action. Shield of Vengeance is up. Does want to be very, very careful with the Shield of Vengeance. Apparently could just Karma it. He's gonna Karma. He is gonna Karma. Radimus, look at that mobility. While Monk can go for like dragon kicks and rolls in order to close the gap or create some distance. The slows by the Paladin, the passive slows are enough for the Paladin to just like keep him out of range while still pelting him with a bunch of damage from a distance. Just keeping him super far away. Backflip though, not in an amazing spot, but not really in a bad spot either. Though if Radimus can somehow catch up to him and stay on him, I think the Monk is in a bit of a tougher spot, honestly. This is a slightly tougher spot. Incap is available. Does have himself Blessing a Saint in case. Stun to follow. Does he have a follow-up? I think Radimus is trying to play this super carefully. Look, he's just backing away, right? He's attacking the Monk, but then backing away. Monk, you know, is going to go for a defensive play. Monk, you know, is going to run away when he sees your wings. So I feel like for Radimus, he needs to get in, let those melee procs happen, get those Crusader strikes up close from melee, and really just hammer in the damage while you have wings, right? Really maximize all that action. I feel like playing... like keeping the Monk at her arm's reach is potentially gonna make it harder for you to stay on him the entire time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, Radimus trying to see if he can get some pressure. But Monk, the map here in particular is so good for the Monk in terms of just keeping himself mobile, right? You got a big old Ashermain statue down the middle with a little bit of longer side one end, and then two smaller statues, but they're all close enough together with Monk like 4 between one and the other. Maybe, now I'm thinking about it, maybe that's why we stopped doing this map. It's because some classes have some crazy mobility here. Because these two pillars are full-on pillars, but they're close enough where, like, you can just port between one and the other. Stun, Radimus, again, playing a little bit cautiously, walking away, almost expecting to reverse damage out of the Monk. Backflip does have himself incap into a leg sweep. Radimus doesn't have an answer for this one. He's actually going to go for Shield of Vengeance. Karma is on him. I think you still want to probably push damage to the Karma. Bop, not available for Radimus, though. I don't know about Lay on Hands, though. Backflip, trying to make that Karma and Zenith do some kind of damage. Does catch him in a Fist of Fury. Radimus might be in a bit of trouble. Lay on Hands does get used. Backflip, however, is still out in the open. Does get himself a port as soon as cooldowns are down. So he's trying to play it super slow, super steady. But it's really... what can Radimus do here, actually? Because I feel like normally Paladins do have a pretty decent bit of damage advantage versus a Monk. But that mobility, just to stay away, to get away from cooldowns... I mean, it's kind of creating a bit more of an even battle where it's not completely one-sided. So Radimus, I think, is kind of in a situation where he needs to find a way to pressure more offensive. I really think going up in melee, let those melee procs to work, but maybe that's not the play. Lexi, backlip, just relying on that Zenith burst and trying to see if we can get Radimus low enough. Because if you can get him low enough and go for touch of death, this could be huge. Just on for a second. Does he have touch of death? Oh! That's exactly what he wanted. Waiting until you can get him low enough. Radimus, as most paladins are too used to letting a health bar get so low when they bubble. They're basically at 1% health. But against a monk, if it gets to 10%, hey, same thing for a rogue. If it's even close to 10%, bubble and stuff. Because it's just going to be a quick, quick little execute. Taking him out. Judas charging out a backflip. He's just going to walk at him. Perfectly fine. Not dismounting until he's right on top of him. Letting the side do work is going to be a big port for backflip. He knows that he's going to end up porting back over here. He's kind of expecting it. Or just going to wait until mounted up. Yeah, he's going to wait until mounted up. He knows. Into a grip on the Ring of Peace. Does have another grip. Can literally walk the Ring of Peace. Chain of Ice are immediately going to be first global to stack up onto backflip with more hits as a trinket for the disarm went through. Backflip got a decent bit of damage. Parry up right now. Blind for a second. Judas got himself death strikes into an incap. Does he have a follow-up? He just needs to catch up to the monk just really quickly. Does get himself the proc for execute damage. Isn't going to be enough though. No touch enough to worry about. So DK can at least stay in and keep hammering out the hits. Those shadowy duel. Hey, haven't seen you in a hot second. Is going to be up next. Immediate stun. Judo's IBF side of it immediately. AMS. There's only so much that the Death Knight can do right now. No blind for the rogue. Evasion as well is not going to let him get any healing. All you can do is Chain of Ice and walk away. But the rogue with steps, yeah, not going to let you go anywhere at all. With an immediate advantage for the rogue. Is he dotted? He is dotted still. But he's going to put him out. Though nobody, or in Team 1, went to charge after him. Is it Naira next? Is it Saya? Is it Leo? One of you guys got to go next, yeah? Possibly? Maybe? Waiting. Okay, it looks like maybe Saya? Maybe Leah? Okay. Or maybe either they were trying to figure out like an order for their groups, or just letting the rogues get a little bit of a breather. One or the other. 7 minutes into the match, 37% dampening, instant blind onto the rogues burst, which is huge. Though I don't really know what you can do much to delay the burst of rogues. They have a lot of mobility. Vanishes are also available, so you can always go for Vanish Shadow Strike in case he wants to end that disarm onto Leo. Just eating all that Shadow Blade's damage, unable to get a proper stun onto the rogue with a dragon. Gouge as soon as he gets himself the cheap death, as well as that borrowed health. Blind to follow. Shadowy Duel just looking for a reset. Cheap shot, nothing that the Death Knight could have done. This rogue absolutely read him like a manual and disassembled him piece by piece, screw by screw, rivet by rivet. Literally every little bit of that Death Knight. I mean, it's just kind of wild. Death Knight sometimes do crazy good damage, but then a rogue comes up and it's just like, just absolutely dismantles them like this. It's crazy to me how much of like a counter that class can be. Sap, stun, Shadowy Duel does have a trinket, but he's being very, very cautious, trying to go for a kidney shot just to get himself an opener onto Saya, but not trying to fight him at all. Blowing out instead. I think he was trying to see if maybe Saya would pop a trinket or bop or something in the opener, but no, not happening. For Shadowy Duel, he's gonna have to get a lot of like goes onto Saya, but without an evasion, without a Cloak of Shadows, it's gonna be a little bit tough. Also, Vanish is very, very mandatory here. Does get a sap. Gouge to follow. As it is going to be trinket out of the rogue. Stun onto Saya. Saya doesn't burn a trinket of his own. Shield of Vengeance is up. Shadowy Duel is going to go for stun, but doesn't want to mess with that Shield of Vengeance. I think that is the right move. Unfortunately, subtlety rogues don't have like any dot damage, so it's not like you can put a dot on the Shield of Vengeance and then walk away. Evasion is in. Try to see if he can make some damage. Coup de Grace is going to do a lot of damage. Shadow Strikes are also doing a lot too. Saya, if not careful, he could be in a lot of trouble. Stun available in 4 seconds. Shadowy Duel does have a Vanish. Is going to go for a Vanish. Very, extremely aggressive Vanish. Does have a cheat death. Is it enough though? Cloak of Shadows not available for 50 seconds. There goes the cheat. But unfortunately not enough. Somebody on Team 2 gotta go. Krager is going to be up next. I mean, you give him the honor duel, Krager? Nah. As a warrior, you're definitely walking into this duel with a bit of a disadvantage, just being the fact that you're a warrior and it's a paladin. Leaps, but unfortunately not enough to give him that line of sight. Saya, 6 seconds until a Hodge is available. So for Krager, unfortunately, that is Avatar being used here. Blaze-Storm, but unfortunately this doesn't give you the movement speed you're looking for. Saya does get to mount up. Man. Reflect, unfortunately it's not a Hodge. Sometimes with Paladins, Zerkers though, that is huge. So Krager making sure he doesn't stay that stun long at all. Demolish, is going to take the damage from my shield abundance, but not too much damage, fortunately. He does have the spear. Did I connect on Saya? Does, but he does it for a bop to make sure that spear doesn't do anything, really. There's going to be a leap by Krager. We'll need to use whatever he can just to survive this damage, because it's just 3D pot shots out from Saya. For Krager, he does have Reflect. 4 seconds until he really needs it. Blessing is Saint out for Saya. Ooh, Reflect early for Krager, so it's going to be a hard. But Krager doesn't take that stun long either. I think it might have been also a Blessing, not Blessing is Saint. Might have been a Zerker Rage for him. Krager is taking a decent bit of that Dawn Light damage. It is not enough for reshielding with that Signal Pain, which only absorbs part of the damage. It's not enough for him to start recovering health. And he kind of is low on health. Maybe looking for a parry. Maybe looking for a Rallying Cry. Really low on health, actually. If Saya gets a big proc. So Krager is maybe a bit of a rough spot to be in, honestly. He goes in for a blind. Stun in 1 second. It is available now. Does he live this? Krager may need to use everything to survive right now. That is a lot of pressure. A lot of damage. Having to borrow a lot of health right now. That is a Rally Cry, parry to follow. Has a stun he could use versus Saya. Stormbolt does connect, demolish to follow. Shield of Vengeance is going to do a lot of damage. Krager got himself a shield, looking to leap away, but that shield breaks so fast, 6% dampening. Doesn't give that shield much of time to really do anything. Damocles went in for Stormbolt, but it does nothing. Asaya is completely DR'd from any stuns for the time being. For Damocles, is definitely not going to be easy. Unless like a Saint, not like he has a stun for you at this point. On the Shockwave? Wait, no, it doesn't even have a Shockwave apparently. But Leap and a Spear is available. Trinket's out, trying to see if it can make some damage happen. Saya with a bubble, Damocles, unless you have yourself a Shatter, there's not much you can really do. It does have parry, does have Reflect, at least able to dampen some of the holy damage. Stormbolt for a second. Do you have any big hits right now? If you have any huge procs, any big hits, now would be the best time to use it if you got any. Lightstorm, but unfortunately, yeah, unable to catch up. Saya can just walk away from him with a horse, slowed a little. At the very least, he is slowed just slightly bit, so maybe Damocles can catch up. Maybe you'll be able to stay on him. Maybe even a little stun. I think it's over. I think it's over. As long as Saya just got himself just a couple more good hits, unless Damocles just picks up the huge, biggest hit out there, out of left field, that Shield of Vengeance is going to be a lot to puncture through. Yeah, it is rough. A lot of Shuk is last one left over for the team too, but Saya is just spent. Absolutely spent. There's nothing he could do in this situation. Immediate Trinket out for a lot of Shuk to make sure he doesn't do anything. It is going to be Naira. Last one left as a Devourer Demon Hunter. Not an easy matchup for him, I don't think. Unless you can just go for full meta, big burst, and just get a fattiest crit in the world versus a lot of Shuk. Not going to be easy at all. Trying to see if he can get himself a better angle. If ever. Apparently, normally Demon Hunters are very, very mobile, but I think you just try to see if you can save his shift ability. Melee hit just a little bit with a hunt to follow. Hodge instead. Is it going to be a Trinket on Naira? Does go for a Trinket. Stun right after him. With a hunt, trying to see if we can get some damage in. There's going to be some melee shielding with a Shield of Vengeance. Wants to break through it if he's going to go for a meta. Does he have enough for a meta? Oh, he may not. Oh, he may not. He got enough for an I-Beam. Or Void Ray, rather. Does have the meta? Is it enough? It's going to be Spell Warden. Actually, just going to stop all that cosmic damage. Unfortunately, even though that damage requires melee abilities, melee attacks, it is not melee. It is all magic. So maybe he got one more big hit. Actually got a lot of Shikai to low, but Hodge, I think, secures him the win here. Yeah, that is rough. Yeah, it's all Paladins. It's all down to Paladins now. Yeah, that map might have not been a good one. Now I'm thinking about it. That the pillars are a little bit weird. Something that we are not used to for sure. Alrighty, are we doing more or are we done? We've done a bunch of these now. Is it 59? No, it's not. It is 60, I think. Finally made another rivals which reduces FPS drops. So that was a problem? Okay, so I'm not the only one then. Good. Are we doing more? Krager's still making more? Okay, well, we're gonna have to do arenas we've already done then. We're gonna have to do like Tolveron, Rook, Hook, Dalaran Sewers again, Lordaeron, things like that. I'm down to keep playing. I didn't realize you guys would be playing more. Any feeling of hungriness that I had, like a painful tings in my stomach, kind of gone right now. Actually, sec. Okay. I wonder how, because I'm down to keep going as long as Krager is down, but I wonder how many more we can keep going for. Then again, if we don't get to do any duels on NA tomorrow, then all these duels would have made up for NA duels, right? Yes, there's a thing where you open the DLC setting in Rivals and you can uninstall something. I didn't get what it was called exactly, but it fixed shitload of FPS drops for me. You can open DLC settings on Rivals and you can uninstall something? Really? Okay, you'll need to if you could find what that thing to uninstall was and like send me a screenshot of it, or like where you'd find to uninstall it in Steam without like, you know, following your Steam stuff or whatever. Like, I'd like to see it, because if I do pick up the game, I'd want to know what it was you can uninstall. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad at all. High resolution pack? That's what it was? You uninstalled the high resolution pack? Is that really what was causing issues, is the high resolution stuff? Or you mean like it'll be there next to high resolution pack? Okay, I didn't realize there was like a DLC section in Steam. Also, your Steam skin looks kind of sick. Not gonna lie. Also, drop shit on the space from the game 50 right the season. Drops a load of space from the game had 50 GB. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'll look into it if I get some time for it. But okay, I now know where to look. That's good. That's good. Even Cracker a second. Really run PvP dueling so dead, it's really hurting the game for me. Waiting on Kragar, unless he's ready. Beautiful. We're gonna do what map are we even gonna do, man? Hook, Rook, Tolveron. Tolveron. I'm barely playing Rivals since I'm about to hit top 100 in the Stadium as a tank player. Ah, yeah. Yeah, Stadium is really fun, man. I always feel like Overwatch should probably transition to just more Stadium. But yeah. I think they need to add some proper quick play in Overwatch too. I feel like quick play in Marvel Rivals is still like really insanely good. The fact that you wait like 2 seconds and you get a map. Very, very nice. Harry Potter hosts arenas. I use a command that Blizzard does for like their tournaments. Been around the game for a while, but there's no like UI for it. You just call it invite spectator match, and you essentially are a spectator, and you invite 2 teams into spectator. It's kind of like when you do war game, but you're just the man in the middle organizing it all. It's been in the game forever. Blizzard never implemented any UI for it, but this is what they use for like their spectator games and stuff. Yeah, so we've been doing that since like, when did we start doing duels? Was it WoD? World of General, I think it was. I think the spectator stuff we started doing since like, not Legion, not BFA. Shadowlands? Maybe BFA? Shadowlands or BFA, one of those two. Which. But yeah, we've been doing like the spectator stuff here for a while now. I don't remember when we started doing these. But Leo, gonna be first up versus Kragar, the Warrior versus the Death Knight. We do get our 5th ore for the team 1, which is beautiful. Bunch of Palas, bunch of Death Knights. So we are gonna have Kragar backing up out of there for a second. Rick back on his team. We also got backflip here. Wait, hold on. Grid? I'm gonna call him Grid. I have no idea. And a Ladderstick. Oh man. Which is more or less like a name for pancake. Kinda, sorta. Like a pancake, like structure, I guess. Kragar with a full avatar. Got him so big burst. Leo backing up out of there completely. Dropping the dome onto Kragar? Wait, what is that dome? I guess he doesn't really need it, so he's just like, here, you can have this. But he's got him so burst into a disarm. Kragar does get a reflect on one of the hits. I'm not really sure what he got reflected on. Parries up. Kragar knows he needs to play some defensive because there's going to be full burst out of Leo. So actually countering his burst with a parry, not a bad move. Because he's only going to have the dragon a full burst every 1.5 minutes, and then parries up every 1.5 minutes, so it matches it perfectly. Kragar does get himself a quick charge towards Leo. Spear, I think he can still, yeah, he just walks out of it. Death's advance and walks away from a chain of ice and whizzes down Krager, not letting him go anywhere. So Krager, all you can maybe go for is maybe a leap, maybe a charge. Does get a charge, but Leo's still with more slows. Leo knows he needs to play this as a hit and run. Leo's most burst comes from whenever he has pillar, and he can go for those big Reapers hits. But he doesn't always have those things available to him all the time. So his consistent damage is always going to fall behind that of Krager. Disarm for a second. Leo has himself full bar of running power. So that's a lot of death strike capability here. Does go for a big reap. Look at the damage from the Reaper side. Krager having to fight through it. Does borrow some health in order to be able to live the damage. That burst is incredibly high. But Leo's again back to playing a passive. He has to. Otherwise, you can stand like Krager. Krager just wins a sustained match every single time. Leo with the chain of ice placed him out for Krager. Leo using mobility to try to escape, but gets stun locked. If Krager gets a big demolish, it could be lights for Leo. One more charge. Throw is actually does a lot of damage. Holy avatar and demolish and warbreaker. That throw actually hits. Leo does pick up a little bit of health, borrowing some of it, unable to do a little bit of healing for a short bit here. But the dragon is back for Krager. The parry is available very, very soon. So actually, this could be a big go for the both of them. Krager needs to be watching out his parry, because as soon as the parry is off cooldown completely, that's how you know the dragon and the full burst is there. That's how you know it. Reflect for a second, try to make sure to stop any kind of chain of ice. It is going to be potentially parry. Krager does go for a disarm. Will need a parry versus Leo after this. Does keep getting rooted. Spear down to keep him in place. Leap it over. Leo does he escape into a short stun. Does himself battle stance. Is that going to be enough? Parry not coming out. Big burst. Krager does go for the parry. His health does drop low. Demolish. Unfortunately, not quite enough to take him out. Oh, trick is just for the execute. He sent a lot just to take out the Death Knight, to be fair. He did send a lot. But I think he wanted to make sure he gets that win every single time. Stun onto Nero really, really quickly. Fear is available for Krager too. Backflip out for Demon Hunter. But as long as he gets him in a fear as the backflip no longer is up in air, then he'll be fine. Melt for just a second. Got himself the big melee combo. And he keeps backflipping in and out, in and out. Stun available. Does Nero have himself full meta? Krager needs to be very, very careful. Does have Warbreaker. That is going to be full burst. Stuns him on the hunt. Yo, what was that? Disarm. He still can do damage. He doesn't necessarily need weapons. Those melee hits are not really melee hits. They're more like magical up close hits. Oh, unfortunately, that is a lot of damage out of Demon Hunter. This is their full meta. So this is where they are at peak damage. Especially since they got so many instant casts they could burn through. I don't think as much as Krager could have done in that situation. For backflip, he's going to have to be very, very careful. For Nero, he's got to really start accumulating more souls whenever possible. He's definitely going to need some. Definitely going to need a lot of them. Leg sweep. That's going to be full burst. Mass damage onto Nero. Who's going to have to use everything he can just to live this. It's going to be a lot of pressure. Whatever damage you can do, just to whatever healing you can do, that's going to be great. That's going to be Void Ray, stun into backflip. Does get knocked out of darkness. Trying to keep him slowed as best as possible. If you got any more ability, that would be the best time to use it. Whatever souls you can generate from him as well is going to be massive for self heal. But touch of death, unfortunately, he's just way too low in health, and there's just not much you can do. I think it is Radimus next. Or Judas? I think it's Rodimus. At the very least, he's given Backflip a chance to, you know, get at least a refresher. At least get a breather, right? So at least there's a bit of honor in this duel, more or less. But Backflip, last time you're playing against Rodimus, you have to use mass mobility to try to outlive Rodimus, to try to outsustain him. But at the end of the day, Rodimus just realized he just needs to push for more pressure. Pally does have an advantage versus Backflip. I mean, just a couple of judgments. The Backflip is already like, okay, my health bar, Vivify. Didn't even reheal one of those judgments. Maybe like 2/3 of the judgment. Maybe. At most. Possibly. Potentially. In cap for just a second. He's got himself a leg sweep. Trying to see if he can get him some passive damage here. But he's not really going to commit. Seeing that shield event, he's like, I don't want to fight it. And Radimus, if you can catch up to him, look at the Dawnlight Carver to reverse it. I think you just maybe just fight right through it. Radimus trying to be extra careful here. Blind is really waiting out that karma, huh? Really waiting it out. Does himself some hits. Backflip with a bit of a back kick. Got himself at Defensive Fury, but a Blessed Protection is out. He's going to go for a port. It's going to be ports out for the monk. So as long as Radimus is careful, yeah, he's going to know. He's going to know. Ring of Peace, unfortunately, is going to stop. So Backflip was able to at least escape that go. Leg sweep coming up in about 13 seconds, so you could have himself another go. As if I want him to have Hearthstones. Well, if they pick up a Warlock on their team, we allow it. Because, like, it's hard to control some of the passive, like, party buffs that you can apply. But, like, if they have a Warlock, Hellstones are allowed. If they have a Warrior, buffs are allowed. Therefore, if you have a team, like, you can't just have a team of just 5 Paladins, right? Otherwise, you'd be like, you know, just, well, not that fun to watch. Or, like, 5 Rogues. But if you have variety, you had some party buffs, and they were okay with. One, because it's like really impossible to control. Like, what am I gonna do? If they have a warrior and use a commanding shot, what am I gonna do? Be like, hey guys, make sure to right click your warrior buff. Like, how am I gonna enforce that? So I don't try to make rules that I cannot enforce. You know what I mean? But yeah, we've been doing this for like a while. Like, yeah, I like like, what am I supposed to do? Like, just end the game, tell everybody to get out, what, kick that guy, ban him? Like, I'm not. I try to construct the rules of 5.1 where those around stuff we can enforce. Stuff we can't, I don't try to sweat it. Karma to follow backflip at the very least, got that as a defensive, but Radimus, again, Radimus, I feel like plays this so passively against the monk. He's like, you know what, I just want to make sure I fight you from a mile away. But I think you should just go in full stun, full wake of ashes, just start hammering. Unless backflip just gives the damage, bubble to follow is going to report. Yeah, I feel like maybe Radimus playing as a paladin. He's, I think, used to playing with Dawnlight super passively, keeping enemies at range. But backflip is going to use that to his advantage to just back up out of there, just use the mobility. Hodge, but what a well-placed Ring of Peace. Radimus actually cannot really maximize anything of the Hodge. Backflip is going to use that excellent mobility to escape and just continue spamming as many verifies into barely healing. Barely healing, but he's still trying to make him work. Radimus now doesn't have a bop, doesn't have a bubble, has a trinket, but doesn't matter. Backflip, I think right now can just push in. And if Radimus just cannot outrun him, I don't know. I think Radimus might have played it way too safe just now. I think there was a moment to push in, and I think that was probably his one opportunity. I think he needs to. I think there definitely needs to be like, okay, I got aggression, I got advantage, let's do it. Backflip also now taking a page out of his book. He's like, you know what? Wings, I don't want to deal with it. Nope. I don't want to deal with wings. He's also extra careful. I think it's because he knows even through wall, he's probably going to die through wings. I think he knows. Even through wall, he's probably just dead with wings. But he's got mobility, using all the ropes to try to see if he can stay on to Radimus. Does go for the Hodge. Drinking a follow. Radimus looking for an escape, hand of freedom. But it's actually going to be followed up last second. That's it with the disable to slow him down. There's nowhere for Radimus to go. Lay on hands is available. I don't know if Backflip realized it was going to be lay on hands or not. I think maybe that's where you get aggressive and go for a karma before a set of wings. Possibly, maybe. I wish I could see the cooldown of Wake of Ashes, but unfortunately, Paladin since Blizzard needs to UI changes, I can't see that one. Or Pillar of Frost. Or really anything that's like a 45 second CD or shorter. Except for like AMS, that's like 40 seconds. Defensively, I think I can, yeah. Kick, that's another exception. Some of the stuns like Hodge, like a 30-second version. I can see that. So it's interesting how what you can see by Blizz standards. Full leg sweep. Does Backflip have enough pressure here? Because Radimus does not really have much of an answer. Maybe he can go for a trinket, but my leg sweep was used and you never use it there. Wake of Ashes is available. Does Radimus use wings defensively or offensively? With that karma, he definitely has to play defensive. Blind, unfortunately, does not connect. Got him super low. Just needs to touch of death real quickly. Shield of Vengeance will not be enough. Just one more big hit. Ring of Peace to move him back in. Does take him out. Yeah, I think with Paladins, a lot of Paladins like to play super passive, but I think for Backflip, he might have played through one too many Paladins here. One too many. As a Paladin, I know you can keep enemies at range, but yeah, I think that was a situation where you just gotta commit. You just gotta do the damage. You just gotta go in because you got more damage than he does. Wait, what is that gateway? Okay, the gateway, I'm not sure about. It's fair for your team has specs, but yeah, above those plus. Yeah, I mean, like 5v5 1v1 duel is a 1v1 duel, but it's inherently like kind of a team effort, right? Team 1 and Team 2 are fighting as a team, right? So it's like, it's a weird, odd format, and I know that people have like their own idea of like what a 1v1 should be or 5v5 1v1, but it's not like a proper 1v1. It's as close to a 1v1 that it can be, just with a couple of unique rules that so far we've all thought that were kind of, you know, good enough, acceptable enough, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to run 5v5 1v1 duels in a different format, you're more than welcome to. But have fun trying to enforce some of those different rules that you can create of like, you're not allowed to have X buff or Y buff or this or that or the other. But yeah, if you really wanted to make it proper 1v1, it'd just be one person versus another person in a map. That's it, right? There would be nothing extra. Then again, some people would then actually ask, what is this gateway action? Hold on a second. What is this gateway action backflip? Hold on a second. Technically, the gateway is there. Like, what am I going to do to stop me from using it? But that's cheesy. Monk with gateway, even more ability. Judas, I'm sure, is just not super happy about that one. AMS was trying to see if he could deal with the karma blind, but he's not really going to be hammering into that karma at all. I wonder if backflip is going to stay in. He's going to get aggressive. He's got, oh, plenty of damage. I honestly thought he wouldn't have just enough, but he got more than enough. Yeah. 21's also inherently fair for some classes. Well, yeah, some classes definitely, like Blizzard did not build them for 1v1 at all. Would love if Blizzard paid attention to the 1v1 format because it's been around in the game forever. But yeah, maybe one day they'll change their minds on it, you know? Maybe one day with Grid going to be up next. Is he an Earthern? He is? No, he's a Dark Iron. This looks like an Earthern. Look at the armor. I was thinking, oh wait, lightning on his shoulders and the weapons look so good. It looks great. Oh my god. It just looks like there's a bunch of lightning off of his shoulders. You look like at the character. That looks sick. Saya is gonna go for the regenerating unless you do some dot damage to him. Wait, so apparently that Flame Shock Voltaic Blaze does not break his thing because it's just a dot. That's wild. It only broke after Saya used an ability afterwards. I think it was a stun. That's weird. So I guess when you pop a Corruption or Agony on a Xanda who's regenerating, I guess it doesn't stop it. That's weird. That's weird. I thought Voltaic Blaze had like instant damage and a dot aspect, but I guess it's like treated as a dot by the game. It's odd. I just never noticed it. Stun onto Grid. He doesn't have a trinket for this one. Doesn't got a lasso. Check it out for Saya because he knows lassos actually hurt. Hold on. Does Grid just die? I'm not even sure what happened. Alonishek is up next, and Saya actually is very, very healthy right now. Stun to follow. Does give himself a full Wake of Ashes. Blind right after. Trinket for Alonishek. Saya does give himself a wall. Try to see if he can maybe live this. Alonishek with a Blessing of Saint. Don't know how job for Saya. Maybe he would have been able to do it for a blind, although I'm not really sure Blessing of Saint works for blind. It didn't work for Rogue Blind the other match. So Saya got himself a bit of damage. Bubble available in case he needs it. Blessing a Snake for a lot of just trying to see if we can pressure Sai right now. Just trying to see if we can put it back up against the wall here. Sai just using mobility to try to escape the pressure and whatever healing you got going on. Might just actually have to start using Wake of Ashes, not offensively, but defensively. Just spamming it just for Dawn Light in order to give yourself more healing through this. You still do have a Rick on that team. 75% dampening, so the healing you guys have. Yeah, Blizzard increase how fast dampening increases because I don't remember it being like the 75% at like the 14-minute mark, 14-minute mark. I think they might have increased it a little bit. So it spikes up a little faster. Stun onto Saya, does go for the bubble. Stun back on Alonishek, also goes for a bubble. Now both of them use stuns. It's a question of who has the pressure, who has the damage, and Saya is definitely missing health. So I feel like Saya is definitely quite behind here. Unable to really recover unless he gets himself one big proc. Blessing is saying for both of them, neither of them have stuns. Who is a blind? Alonishek is going to be getting Hodge for Saya, so I think Alonishek definitely has the advantage unless Saya's got damage right here, right now. I think it just might be a light trying to go for heals, but also damage. Oh, Alonishek does end up taking him. Well done, well done. Backflip does get free. Also, well done on him as well. Neat. That was a long one, huh? That go lasted for quite a while. Let's see if we can get ourselves, do we do more or are we done? Because we've been doing these for a while, huh? It's got to be late somewhere in the EU at this point. Like, definitely. Спасибо. Okay. We are GG, boys. Cracker and his homies are out. We're done. We've done a bunch of games today. Streamed for, what, 3 hours? I have been feeling hunger pangs for like this entire time, so I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna get some work done. I got a bunch of videos. I got a bunch of grinding to do. I gotta get all my crests this week as well, so I'm gonna be doing all that. But yeah, you guys are wonderful, beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. What else was I gonna do? I was gonna do something else, but I forget. What was I gonna do? Yeah, I forget. I was gonna do something or say something, but I forget now. But it's all good. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow will be more duels, this time over for the region of NA. And hopefully NA will actually get some games to play. Hopefully, probably, maybe, possibly. We'll see. We'll see how all that goes. But yeah, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for watching. Maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Yeah, we got a lot of great games tonight, man. These were fantastic to watch. Some actually close calls. Even with Paladins involved, which was really like, you know, we did have some games where we're just like all Paladins winning them, but definitely quite a bit of variety. Good night or day. It's evening for me. It's 5:21. Morning for some of you boys, maybe. So good night or good morning, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, you guys have a good one. What was I gonna do next? I forget. I'm just gonna call it. You guys have a great one, and tomorrow we're gonna start an hour later. I think we're gonna start an hour later over on the NA. We'll see how that goes, because so far we didn't really get duels going up until like an hour into the stream, so I'm thinking of starting at 7. We'll see how that works. Anyway, peace.